Chapter 190. Big Brother, it's impossible. Big Brother disappeared a few years ago. It's impossible. You're lying to me. At this moment, when Lin Ro heard the Dark Ops say that the young master was her big brother who had disappeared for 2 years without any news, the tears in her eyes flowed down uncontrollably. It can't be him. After he disappeared without a trace back then, we searched for him for a long time. We searched almost everywhere in the country. Even foreign countries put up missing person notices for him, but after so many years, as she spoke, Lin Ro's cries became more and more heartbroken. Her entire body was covered in tears as she desperately shook her head with a look of disbelief. Sigh. Miss, what I said is true. Young master is really your long-lost brother. As for the specifics, we don't know. It's better to ask him personally when we get home. Our mission this time is to bring you back, young master. Although they said that, they didn't intend to force her. They just stood aside with their heads lowered, waiting for Lin Ro's answer. Wow. They're the 4 handsome guys driving luxury cars in front of the school gate. And each car is worth a few million. Just as Lin Ro was about to say something, Busy Yu, who had been sitting at the side looking at her phone, suddenly screamed and started taking photos of the 4 of them. She kept talking to the others, looking like a love-struck fool. Damn, it's really him. I didn't expect Lin Ro's family to be rich. Even my family can't take out so many cars at once. I didn't expect your family's servants to drive such good cars. Yeah, Lin Ro, I didn't expect it. It's been almost a year. You're so mean. No, you have to invite us to your house when you have time. Lin Ro, who was still undecided, was even more uncertain after hearing her classmates' words. Because she knew that even if her big brother asked them to pick her up, they wouldn't drive such good cars. They didn't know, but she knew very well that her big brother didn't have so much money. At that moment, she was even more certain that the 4 people in front of her were bad guys. No, you're lying to me. Although I want to believe you, my brother didn't, dong. Before Lin Ro could finish her words, a dark unit member slashed Lin Ro's back with a knife. Lin Ro instantly fainted in the arms of the person who attacked her. What are you doing? Aren't you afraid that the young master? At this time, when the other 3 members of the dark group saw their companion's actions, their eyes widened. They looked at him with disbelief and fear. Even if young master wants to punish me, you can't always say it here. You know, what if? Hearing his companion's words and worry, the man said to the 3 of them. At the same time, a sharp glint flashed in his eyes, and he stopped talking. Sigh. Fine. Since that was the case, they should hurry and find the young master. I hope young master can be more straightforward. After the discussion, they prepared to leave with Lin Ro. However, at this time, the people in the classroom were not willing to leave. Everyone hated the 4 members of the dark group. You can't take Lin Ro with you. Since she doesn't want to be with you, she must have her reasons. If you don't get Lin Ro's consent, at this time, a man stood up and said to the 4 members of the dark group. His eyes were full of determination. This has nothing to do with you. You better not find him and say anything. The 4 members of the dark group turned their heads and looked at the male student who was found. Their tone was full of threat. After that, the 4 of them walked out of the classroom with Lin Ro. Soon, they arrived at Lin Feng's classroom according to their memories. However, it was already time for class, so they did not rush in like before. Instead, one of them walked out of the classroom and knocked on the door gently. Dong dong dong, the sound came. The teacher who was teaching heard the knocking on the door. The smile on his face instantly turned cold. He looked at the door unwillingly. Come in. Jia, the door was pushed open. One of the 4 members of the dark group walked in and said to the teacher who had a bad expression, "I'm sorry, I want to see Lin Feng. I hope you can make an exception." When the man came in, he had already attracted the attention of the whole class. When he said Lin Feng's name, everyone's eyes were on Lin Feng. "Looking for me?" At this time, Lin Feng stood up. His eyes were full of uncertainty as he asked the man. "Yes, young master. I'm here on young master's orders to pick you and Miss up. If it's possible, please come with me to see young master." The member of the dark group did not beat around the bush. He directly told Lin Feng his purpose. However, this sentence made Lin Feng dumbfounded. His eyes were full of doubts. "Oh, if that's the case, then Lin Feng, you should go. You'll only affect the other students' time here." After hearing the man's words, the teacher hurriedly asked Lin Feng to follow him. "But..." "Okay." Lin Feng wanted to say something, but when he saw the teacher's expression, he compromised. He got out of his seat and followed the member of the dark group out of the classroom. However, when he saw his sister lying unconscious on a man's body, he immediately felt that something was wrong. He wanted to struggle, but the member of the dark group behind him knocked him out with a knife. "Okay, everything is settled. Let's hurry up and report back. I'm afraid that young master will be anxious." After hearing the man's words, they nodded at the same time. Then, they brought the unconscious Lin Feng and Lin Ro to the school gate. They put the 2 unconscious people in the car and drove away. The journey was smooth sailing, but the moment they left, in the former forest not far from the campus, a few people suddenly appeared there. Their faces were cold, and one of the men said to the others, "Quick, go back and report back. Ouyang Jing's children were taken away by a group of unknown people. We'll go after them now." "Yes, I'll go now." After one of the men heard this sentence, he did not even think about it. After he said that, he turned around and quickly disappeared in the opposite direction of the dark group. The few people who stayed in the same place drove to a place not far away. They got into their cars and chased after the dark group, speeding up all the way. As for the dark group, who were originally under Lin Rei's orders, when they left the school, they activated their divine senses and kept checking the surrounding 5 kilometers. As a result, a long time after they left the school, a group of cars suddenly appeared in the range of their divine senses. "Oh, it seems that young master's guess is quite accurate. There really are people following Miss and the others." Seeing this, the dark group immediately drove the car at full speed and disappeared from the sight of the pursuers. After all, the difference between the cars was too big. One was a sports car worth millions, while the other was a Volkswagen worth hundreds of thousands. They were not on the same level at all. After seeing the car that took Lin Ro and the others disappear, the following cars all stopped in place. With murderous eyes, they looked at the place where the dark group disappeared and cursed fiercely. "Damn it, don't let me see you again in the future. If I see you again, I'll beat your *C's out." Seeing that the pursuit was fruitless, the few people drove the car and then drove away. This time, they did not drive as fast as before. On the other side, the dark group's cars were at full speed. It was like a scene of death on the road. They were so fast that the passers-by could only see a shadow passing by. Soon, after half an hour, the few people arrived in front of Lin Rei's villa as they wished. After parking the car, they carried Lin Ro and Lin Feng into the villa. The moment they entered the villa, they realized that there were many people here. They also knew that these people were their partners and brothers who were ordered to protect this place. The few people strolled into the villa. Seeing that the villa was empty and there was no sign of Lin Rei, one of them came out and asked the others, "Brother, where did young master go? Why don't I see him? Young master seems to have fallen asleep in his room. I advise you not to wake him up. If there's anything, we'll talk about it when young master wakes up. Just as the man was talking to the air, a figure suddenly appeared and told him the whereabouts of Lin Ro. Okay, I got it. After learning of Linley's whereabouts, he thanked the person who had spoken to him and returned to the living room of the villa. Let's go. Find a room and put them inside. Young master is sleeping now. We'll talk about it when he wakes up. The few people nodded in agreement after hearing the words of the man who came in. They followed the man's instructions and found a room for the two unconscious people. After putting them on the bed, they walked out. Time passed little by little. The originally clear sky slowly darkened and finally turned black. The lights in the villa were all turned on by the four people who were waiting for Lin Ray. It was very dark outside, but in the villa, it was no different from daytime. Night fell. Originally, it wasn't very obvious during the day. At this time, if one looked down at this group of villas from the sky, they would definitely think that this place was very beautiful because at this moment, everyone had returned home and turned on the lights in their homes. One family was happy while the other was sad. On the other side, in a place where even the upper-class people might not necessarily be able to stay, a man was facing a few men in a room and scolding them with a furious tone. Chapter 191. Idiots, all of you are King idiots. Only a few of you can't handle it. You're the only ones who are cultivators. I think you don't need cultivation resources in the future. At this time, a middle-aged man said angrily to the people kneeling on the ground. His face was extremely ferocious and terrifying. Reporting to Master, it's not that we didn't work hard enough. It's just that the car those people were driving is really not something that we can compare to. Even if we are cultivators, then we, at this time, a man kneeling on the ground, after hearing the words of the middle-aged man in front of them, said unconvinced. His face was full of doubts. Don't be like this. At this time, the middle-aged man who was also kneeling on the ground, after hearing his brother's words, wanted to stop him. However, it was too late. In the end, he couldn't stop him and let him speak. Humph, a bunch of trash. You didn't complete the task I gave you, but you still dare to talk back in front of me. I'm afraid you have forgotten who is in charge of this family now. After hearing the man's words, the middle-aged man who was called the patriarch was completely furious. He circulated the spiritual energy in his hand and directly hit the head of the man who talked back. Kacha, at this moment, the man's eyes became dull and his body collapsed to the ground weakly. His vitality dissipated. Humph, luckily you talked back to me. You really don't want to live anymore. I gave you cultivation resources and you dare to do this to me. Do you really think I'm a vegetarian? At the same time, after seeing his brother being killed by the patriarch, the middle-aged man who was kneeling on the ground wanted to resist for a moment, but he didn't have the courage to stand up. In the end, he could only let it go. Okay, all of you, get up. I know you are not convinced that I killed him, but you have to remember that in this world, you are not the strong. You are just the weak who rely on the strong. Since you are the weak, you have to be prepared to be the weak. The middle-aged man who was called the patriarch knew that they hated him in their hearts. However, there was nothing he could do. This was the principle of the world. It was not something they could change. Ouyang Teng, may be the newly appointed Ouyang clan leader, but I'm not someone that a mere qi refining disciple can talk back to. This time, I won't say anything. Next time, it won't be such a light punishment. Yes, we will remember your words in the future. We won't dare to do it again. Please allow us to bring my brother's corpse back. At this moment, the people kneeling on the ground said to Ouyang Teng. Their originally tense bodies relaxed after hearing Ouyang Teng's words. Go. By the way, find out who took Lin Feng and Lin Ro. No matter what method you use, if anyone dares to resist, you know what to do." At this point, Yangting's eyes flashed. A murderous aura burst forth from his body. Even the dumbest person would understand the meaning behind his words. "Yes, we will definitely complete the task given by the patriarch. If we don't complete it this time, we won't go back." After they finished speaking, they saw Yangting's hand signal for them to leave. Without a moment's hesitation, they picked up their brother's corpse and left with a sorrowful expression. "Humph, who is it? Could it be the one from the Long family? But that's impossible. He doesn't know that Ouyang Jing has returned. Furthermore, those two people are not their sons." At this moment, Ouyang saw that there was no one in the room. A cold murderous aura burst out from his body. His eyes were full of doubts as he spoke to the air. "Sigh. Forget it. Anyway, their sons have already shown themselves. Even if we find them, they are not the sons of the Long family." After saying that, Yangting's face revealed a smile. He walked to the bed in the room and fell asleep. In the villa of Tianwan Garden, Lin Rui, who had slept for nearly a day, finally woke up in his room. After opening his eyes, he rubbed his sleepy eyes hard with both hands. He stood up from the bed, tidied his clothes, then pushed open the door and walked downstairs. At this time, the four people from the dark group, who had been standing in the living room, were still standing straight as before. They did not say a word. "Oh, why are you standing here?" At this time, after hearing the sound coming from the stairs, the four people all looked up. Following the sound of footsteps, they saw Lin Rui coming down. "Young master, we were lucky enough to bring the young master and the young lady back. However, they didn't seem to believe that it was you who asked us to pick them up, so we had no choice but to knock them out and bring them back." When they saw Lin Li again, the man from the dark group who had knocked out Lin Feng and Lin Rou stood up and said to Lin Li, as if he had done something wrong and wanted Lin Li to punish him. "No. Young master, it's not like that. It's me. I knocked him out. If young master wants to punish someone, please punish me." "No, it was me, no." Just when the man stood up to admit his mistake, the others also stood up and rushed to admit their mistakes. This made Lin Rui, who had just woken up, a little interested. "Well, in this case, there must be punishment. Go, get me some ingredients for cooking. If you can do this well, I won't blame you for what you did before. If you can't even do such a small thing, then I will really doubt your strength." "Ah, buy ingredients?" At this time, after hearing Lin Rui's task, they inadvertently shouted at the same time. "Good, it seems that after merging with my memory, it is quite convenient and your analytical ability is quite strong. Since you know, go quickly. Oh, by the way, where did you put the two little guys?" At this time, Lin Rui suddenly thought of his younger brother and sister and suddenly asked them. "Young master, we saw that you were resting, so we put them in a room next to the stairs." After hearing Lin Rui's order, they walked out of the door. Suddenly, Lin Rui's voice came from behind. They quickly turned around and answered. "Oh, okay, you can go now." After knowing where his younger brother and sister were, Lin Rui couldn't wait to stand up and walk to the room next to the stairs. "Jia," Lin Rui pushed open the door. After seeing Lin Feng and Lin Rou lying on the bed and still unconscious, Lin Rui's eyes filled with tears and a smile appeared on his face. "Xiaofan, Xiaorou, I finally see you." With that, Lin Rui strode to the bedside and sat down, looking at them quietly. Originally, he had a lot to say to them, but after seeing them in person, Lin Rui didn't have so much to say. At this time, Lin Rui just wanted to look at them quietly. "Hee, you two little guys, wake up." Looking at the unconscious younger brother and sister on the bed, Lin Rui hurriedly sent a stream of spiritual energy to each of them. In an instant, it entered their bodies. A few minutes later, the two finally moved. At this time, Lin Feng, who was still in a daze, reached out and touched the back of his neck that was hit by the dark force. His face showed a painful expression. Ah! Lin Ro was even more exaggerated. After touching the painful place, she couldn't help but scream, directly startling Lin Ray, who was beside her, who was unprepared. What happened, little sister? At this time, at the same time that he heard his sister's scream, the originally dazed Lin Feng woke up. He hurriedly got up and looked at his sister beside him with a worried expression. Ah, brother, it hurts so much. I don't know what those people were doing. They knocked me out just like in the movies. It's still hurting now. At this time, after hearing her brother's voice, Lin Ro, who had her eyes closed, quickly opened her eyes and looked at her brother beside her. She smiled and said, "Hee, little sister, little brother, you've been awake for so long. Why didn't you realize that there was someone beside you?" At this time, after sitting by the bed and watching their actions, he felt a little sour in his heart. Perhaps it was because he saw that they believed in each other so much, or perhaps it was because they didn't notice his presence the moment they woke up. Yes. Just when the two of them were concerned about each other, an uncoordinated voice sounded. The two of them turned their heads at the same time and looked at the person who spoke. Immediately, the two of them were stunned on the spot. Their eyes widened and were full of disbelief. Brother, is it really you? At this time, Lin Feng was the first to recover and looked at Lin Ray in disbelief. Hee, it seems that you haven't forgotten about me, your big brother. Not bad, this makes me feel very gratified. I thought that in your eyes, I didn't exist except for little sister. Brother, is it really you? Where have you been for the past few years? Do you know how hard we've been looking for you these past few years? Just when Lin Ray and Lin Feng were talking, Lin Ro roared like a lion from the northeast. She wore a smile on her face, but tears had already flowed down from her eyes. Sigh. It's not the time to tell you some things, but the most important thing now is to tell me everything you know. Why did I hear that you came to Beijing to visit your relatives when I returned home? And why didn't I know that we have relatives in Beijing? And why are you studying in Beijing University? Chapter 192. At this moment, sitting on the bed and looking at their brother's agitated look, the two of them were a little scared. They had never seen such a side of their brother. In their hearts, their brother Lin Ray had always been a weak and frail person who cared about his family and was willing to do anything for his family. Also, who is it? I really don't understand. Why have I never heard Mother mention it? After Lin Li voiced out the question in his heart, he felt that he had lost his composure. For a moment, he hurriedly restrained his agitated emotions and replaced them with calmness. However, his eyes were apologetic as he spoke to the two of them. I'm sorry. I was too agitated just now. I hope I didn't scare you. At this moment, Lin Ray's voice was very soft and warm. It was completely different from the kind of person who was almost shouting just now. This scene made Lin Feng and Lin Ro feel that the brother in front of them was no longer the same person as before. Brother, it's okay. We know you are very worried about Mother, but they are very powerful. Moreover, Mother and they seem to be a family. I heard Mother call that old grandpa Dad. What? Mother called that old grandpa Dad? At this moment, after listening to his brother and sister's words, Lin Ray was stunned. He muttered in his heart, Mother called him Dad. Doesn't that mean he is my grandpa? But that's not right. Mother never said that Grandpa is still alive. Then do you know what family they are? What is their name if they are still alive? At this moment, Lin Ray asked Lin Feng and Lin Ro with confusion. His tone was full of coercion. Perhaps Lin Rei himself did not feel it. Perhaps it was because he had been in a high position for a long time. I don't know. They didn't tell us their names. As for our school, it seems that they gave it to our class. Anyway, every once in a while, they would give us a sum of money, but they never showed their faces. At this moment, when Lin Feng's eyes met Lin Rei's eyes again, he unconsciously avoided them and said in an aggrieved tone. Beside him, Lin Ro was also holding her stomach with one hand and looked very aggrieved. Alas. Alright, you don't have to worry about this matter. Since it's fine, let's go out and eat. We haven't had a meal in such a long time. At this time, Lin Rei felt the strangeness of his younger brother and sister, and the guilt on his face became even more apparent. He was extremely vexed in his heart. Oh, sure. We can finally eat. After hearing Lin Rei's words, Lin Feng's and Lin Ro's tone was completely different. Lin Feng only responded with a faint sound, but Lin Ro was different. After hearing Lin Rei say that they could eat soon, Lin Rei's sad face instantly became radiant, as if she had become a different person. Hee, let's go. Today, I'll show you your brother's cooking skills. After saying that, Lin Rei directly stood up from the bed and stretched out his hand to help Lin Ro up from the bed. As for Lin Feng, Lin Rei didn't care about him at all, because Lin Rei knew that even without him, Lin Feng could get up by himself. After all, Lin Feng had been taking care of Lin Ro for the past 2 years. Slowly, the three of them arrived at the restaurant. At this time, the 4 dark operation members who were sent out by Lin Rei to buy groceries had been waiting in the restaurant for a long time. When they saw Lin Rei and the other 2, they quickly bowed and greeted them. The 4 of us greet young master, second young master, and third miss. When the 3 of them arrived at the restaurant, they also saw the 4 of them. After hearing their greetings, Lin Rei nodded slightly and said faintly, "Well, there's nothing else here. You can leave first and guard the door. No matter who it is, don't come in. If there is an intruder, you know what to do." At the end of his words, Lin Rei's body revealed a trace of killing intent as he said to the 4 of them. "Yes, sir." After hearing Lin Rei's words, even without the reminder of killing intent, the 4 of them knew what to do. After receiving the task, the 4 of them turned and left. In the entire room, other than Lin Rei, there were only Lin Feng and Lin Ro. "Well, you can walk around. This will be our home from now on. If you're not familiar with it, you'll inevitably be ridiculed by others. There's still a long time to cook. You can go first." Looking at his younger brother and sister, Lin Rei directly asked them to walk around and familiarize themselves with the layout of the villa. As for himself, he had already taken over the entire kitchen. After speaking, Lin Rei walked into the kitchen alone. "Ah. Big brother. Second brother, do you think our big brother can cook? He's already made that kind of food. What should we do?" At this time, sitting at the dining table and looking at Lin Rei's back as he walked into the kitchen, Lin Ro couldn't help but speculate in her heart. Her face revealed a frightened expression. "Heh, little sister, you think too highly of your second brother. I've been separated from Big Brother for 2 years. How would I know if Big Brother can cook? Moreover, look at this villa. It's at least 40 to 50 million yuan. I really can't imagine what kind of business Big Brother is in to be able to earn so much money in 2 years." After hearing his little sister's words, the first thing that Lin Feng thought of was not his big brother's cooking skills, but the villa, the cars outside, and the subordinates who were like bodyguards. After speaking, Lin Feng walked upstairs by himself. Along the way, Lin Feng kept looking at this kind of luxurious yet classical villa. Every decoration was worth a lot of money. This puzzled Lin Feng. He even wondered if his brother was selling drugs now. When Lin Ro saw her second brother directly going upstairs, she hurriedly stood up and chased after Lin Feng. She ran all the way and finally caught up to Lin Feng on the third floor. "Second brother, I say, can you stop thinking like that all the time? Maybe big brother really transferred a lot of money in these 2 years." At this moment, Lin Ray, who was standing in the kitchen, smiled helplessly as he listened to his younger brother and sister talk about him. For a moment, he didn't know what to say. Forget it, I'll just say whatever I want. Let's cook first. It's been a day and they haven't eaten yet. Soon, Lin Ray put all his worries to the back of his mind and focused on cooking for Lin Feng and Lin Ro. For Lin Ray, who had been cooking on the island of the Sea of Innocence for 6 years, the seafood bought by the dark department was a piece of cake. Soon, plate after plate of delicious seafood and some ordinary home-cooked dishes were all prepared. Now that everything was ready, Linley took out 2 jugs of carved flower wine from his storage ring, which he had stored in the profound sky continent. And then, after placing all of the prepared dishes on the table, he raised his head and called out to Lin Feng and Bibi, who were strolling around upstairs. "Xiaofan, Xiaoro, the food is ready. Come down quickly. If you come down late, I'll finish all the delicious food." Dong 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 dong. After Lin Ray shouted upstairs, he heard the sound of people coming down the stairs. In an instant, Lin Ray sat down and pretended to eat until Lin Ro ran down anxiously. After seeing what Lin Ray was doing, she came to the table reluctantly and acted coquettishly. "Big brother, how can you do this? They haven't come down yet and you're already eating." While speaking, Lin Ro didn't stay idle. She picked up her chopsticks and began to stuff food into her mouth. Slow down, slow down. No one is fighting with you. There's so much food. If it's not enough, I'll make more." At this moment, Lin Ray laughed happily. From the beginning to the end, except for when he lost his memory, he had never laughed like this before. At this moment, Lin Feng came down from upstairs. Although he still looked unhappy, it didn't affect Lin Ray's mood. "Okay, hurry up and eat. Tell me if it's not enough and I'll make more for you." After saying that, Lin Ray opened the jar of wine that he had prepared, poured a bowl of wine, and poured it into his mouth. Gulp. The 2 people who were eating at the side heard the sound and looked up. When they saw their big brother drinking, they were stunned. What's wrong?" At this moment, Lin Ray realized that they were drinking the same amount. In an instant, his face turned red and he asked them. "Big brother, you've never drunk before. And I heard you say that drinking is bad and you hate people who drink. Now you're..." "Yes. Not only that, your wine seems to be very tasty. It smells quite good." Suddenly, Lin Ray's face showed a smile of understanding. He said to Lin Feng and the others, "You'll understand in the future. Under a certain amount of pressure, drinking is the best. And my wine is good stuff. Even if they give me 10 million, 100 million, or even more, I won't buy it. Okay, hurry up and eat. After eating, hurry up and go to sleep. I'll take you around tomorrow." After saying that, Lin Ray picked up the jar of wine and drank alone. This scene fell into the eyes of Lin Feng and Lin Feng. The meal was quickly finished, and the 2 jugs of wine that Linley had brought out had been finished as well. Looking at Lin Ro, whose mouth was covered in oil, Linley smiled and said to them, "Let's go. You can go to whichever room you like. After breakfast tomorrow, I'll take you to buy something. By the way, I'll give each of you half of a bank card. This way, you can buy whatever you want in the future." Beside them, Lin Ro, who was already full, jumped up from the chair when she heard Lin Ray's words. She came to Lin Ray's side and acted coquettishly. It was as if the feeling of being full before had disappeared when Lin Ray finished speaking. Chapter 193. Alright, alright. Get some rest. Wake up early tomorrow and I'll show you around. At this moment, looking at his sister who was hugging his arm, Linley dotingly patted her head and said, Okay. Got it, big brother. Hearing Linley's words, the two hurriedly headed to the third floor. Soon, Linley's divine sense saw them select a room, then walk in and close the door. Huh. At this moment, Linley looked at the plates on the table and smiled helplessly. He stood up and cleaned up the plates on the table before returning to his room. However, Linley wasn't going to sleep right now. The moment he returned to his room, Lin Rei entered the cloud pagoda in the system and went straight to the 9th floor. Everyone here was his brother, disciple, wife, and son. After opening the 9th floor, Lin Rei saw that everyone was cultivating. He didn't disturb anyone and went to his wife, Jean Ling. Lin Rei felt guilty when he saw his wife cultivating so hard. Jean Ling's life wasn't supposed to be so boring. Ling. Squatting down, he used his divine sense to gently call out to Jean Ling, who was in the midst of cultivation. Soon, Jean Ling, who had been in the midst of cultivation, opened her eyes. Her gaze was filled with delight as she looked at Linley. Husband, why did you take so long to come see me? I missed you so much these few days. As soon as she opened her eyes, she saw the person she had been thinking about day and night. Jean Ling happily threw herself into Linley, who was squatting beside her. In an instant, Linley and Jean Ling fell to the ground, but their faces were full of blissful smiles. Their eyes met, as if they had endless things to say, and at that moment, they had said all that they wanted to. Alright, Ling, I'm here to take you out. You can be with me in the future. At first, Jean Ling was very happy to see Linley. However, when she heard his words, Jean Ling was so excited that she jumped up from the ground. She was like a child, and the smile on her face was even brighter. Alright, let's go. I'll take out in 2 days. Looking at his wife's appearance, Linley smiled and stood up. He put his arm around Jean Ling's waist and moved his mind. When he opened his eyes, he had already appeared in his room. Alright, open your eyes. Lin Rei came to his room and looked at Jean Ling, who was in his arms with her eyes closed. Lin Rei chuckled and said to her, Oh. Hearing her husband's words, Jean Ling opened her eyes and looked at the things in front of her with a puzzled look in her eyes. Where is this place, husband? And these things, they look so exquisite. Jean Ling opened her eyes and looked at the novel things in front of her. She looked at Lin Rei and asked in puzzlement. You'll know about these things in the future. Lin Rei took out the modern memory jade from his storage ring. He handed it to Jean Ling and said, Here, absorb it. You'll know what these things are in the future. Jean Ling took the jade obediently when she heard Lin Rei's words. Then, she placed it between her eyebrows and operated her cultivation method. Instantly, the memory in the jade began to appear in Jean Ling's mind bit by bit. The memory and Jean Ling's memory merged bit by bit. At this time, Jean Ling's expression was even more colorful. One moment, she was pleasantly surprised, and the next moment, she was shocked. Lin Rei, who was watching this scene from the side, was full of helplessness. Time passed by little by little. 10 minutes later, Jean Ling put down her hand from between her eyebrows. She said excitedly with a surprised expression on her face. Husband, is this a habit of this planet? And the things I saw were all things I've never seen before. At this moment, Jean Ling was like a curious baby. After waking up, she grabbed Lin Rei's arm and shook it vigorously. Okay, there's still a long time in the future. Tomorrow, I'll take you to the mall to buy some beautiful clothes and necessities. Is that okay? At this moment, Lin Rei's heart was filled with unspeakable bitterness. He originally thought that Jean Ling would not be so crazy. In the end, Lin Rei's imagination was wrong. At this time, even if Lin Rei was a cultivator in the middle stage of the crossing calamity stage, he could not bear being shaken by Jin Ling like this. I got it. Seeing that Jin Ling was no longer shaking, Lin Rei backhanded Jin Ling's waist and pressed her on the bed. Then, a scene played out in the room. Every minute of the night was worth 1,000 gold. Time passed quietly, and in the blink of an eye, it was the next morning. At this time, in Lin Rei's room, Jin Ling got up from Lin Rei's body. After putting on her clothes, she quietly opened the door, went downstairs, and went to the kitchen. After getting the modern memory, Jin Ling knew how to cook and how to use the modern things. When she came downstairs, Jin Ling took out what should be eaten in the morning, turned on the fire, and quickly made a lot of breakfast, and then put it on the table. This should be enough. Looking at the food in front of her, Jin Ling smiled slightly, then strolled to Lin Rei's room and gently pinched Lin Rei's nose. Achoo! Suddenly, a sneeze woke Lin Rei up from his sleep. Looking at Jin Ling who was teasing him, Lin Rei didn't say a word and directly carried Jin Ling to the bed. In an instant, a fiery kiss directly kissed Jin Ling until she surrendered. Okay, hubby. I won't dare to do it again in the future. Just let me go this time. It's good that you know. This time, I'll treat it as a lesson. I'll see if you dare to do it again in the future. Hearing Jin Ling's pleas, Lin Rei released Jin Ling and began to put on his clothes. By the way, Ling, don't call me hubby in the future. In this era, hubby is outdated. You can call me hubby or brother Lei. At this moment, Lin Rei, who was putting on his clothes, suddenly thought of something and said to Jin Ling, "Oh. Got it, hubby." "Oh, no, hubby." At this time, Jin Ling, who was standing by the side and tidying up her clothes, heard Lin Rei's words, pouted and said reluctantly, "Okay, put on your clothes and quickly come down to eat. I've already prepared it for you." After Jin Ling said to Lin Rei, she was ready to go outside, but was stopped by Lin Rei. "Wait, you just came out. I forgot to introduce you. I've already found my younger brother and sister. They are upstairs. Later, go and wake them up to eat together. Today, they will also go to the mall with us. Also, don't let them know our real identity. I don't want to tell them yet." Your younger brother and sister are also here?" At this time, Jin Ling, who was stopped by Lin Rei, stopped in place. After hearing her husband's words, her face revealed a surprised expression. You can call them Xiaofan and Xiao like me." After speaking, Lin Rei got out of bed, then took Jin Ling's hand and left the room. However, when they reached the stairs, the two parted ways. One went to the third floor, and the other went to the restaurant. Dong dong dong. Dong dong dong. When Jin Ling came to the third floor, she knocked on one of the doors nervously. It could be seen that Jin Ling was very nervous. "Who is it?" "Gotcha." Not long after Jin Ling knocked on the door, Lin Ro's voice came along with the sound of the door opening. "That. Xiao Ro, your brother asked you to go to the restaurant to eat." At this time, after hearing Jin Ling's voice, Lin Ro immediately woke up from her hazy sleep. Her eyes stared at the woman in front of her who she had never seen before. For a moment, her eyes were full of doubts. I'm sorry. May I ask who you are?" I am your brother's wife, and also your sister-in-law." After saying this, Jin Ling quickly went into a room and knocked on the door. The result was the same. They were all suspicious of Jin Ling's identity. After waking them up, Jin Ling quickly went downstairs and came to Lin Rei's side. She lowered her head and began to eat breakfast. What's wrong? You're shy already. You haven't even met the parents yet. You're just two children, and you're already like this? At this time, Lin Rui, who was eating, noticed Jean Ling's behavior and immediately teased her. Humph, you only know how to laugh at me. If you laugh again, don't come into my room tonight. Moreover, it will be a month later. See if I don't suffocate you to death. After hearing this, Lin Rui, who was originally smiling, instantly collapsed. Don't, wife. I won't dare to do it again. This time, it's your husband's fault. At this time, Lin Rui's face was full of bitterness as he begged Jean Ling, it's good that you know. When my brother and sister come out later, you must say more good things about me. If my image is not good, you won't have an easy time tonight. After saying this, Jean Ling turned her head and looked as if she didn't want to say anything more. She picked up the food on the table and began to eat. Why now? Brother. Just when Lin Rui was about to say something, Lin Feng and Lin Ro had already dressed up and came to the dining room. Okay. You two go ahead. Let me introduce you. This is your sister-in-law. In the future, when you see her, it's like seeing me. Don't bully her. At this time, Lin Rui was thinking of all ways to please Jean Ling. He didn't want to have no room to sleep at night. Oh. Hello, sister-in-law. When the two heard Lin Rui's words, they hurriedly greeted Jean Ling, who was eating. Although the doubts in their eyes didn't dissipate, they still had to listen to Lin Rui's words. That, it's our first time meeting. I don't have anything to give you. I'll go out later to make up for it. Chapter 194. At this moment, Jean Ling looked nervous and embarrassed, but in fact, she was very happy. When Lin Rui introduced her to Lin Feng and the others, she was already laughing in her heart. Who didn't want to be proud in front of their man's family? Okay, we got it, sister-in-law. Lin Rui, who had been eating silently, felt very helpless when he heard their conversation. What did they mean by making up for it later? In the end, it was still his money. However, this was just a thought, and he couldn't say it out loud. Otherwise, he wouldn't be able to go back to his room to sleep at night. Okay, stop talking. Hurry up and eat. At this moment, Lin Rui had finished eating and stood up. Looking at them chatting enthusiastically, he was very happy for a moment. Soon, under Lin Rui's urging, they finished eating in a short while. After they were all dressed up, they came to the yard and waited for Lin Rui. Okay, let's go. However, the car can't come by itself. You have to let them be your drivers. Lin Rui walked out, followed by the 4 men who went to pick them up from school. Each of them was very handsome, but they were always serious, so people didn't dare to get close to them. Got it. Hearing their elder brother's words, the 2 of them were obviously a little unhappy, but there was no other way. It was useless to resist. Okay, let's go. Seeing their compromise, Lin Rui smiled, then took Jean Ling's hand and went to the car. Lin Feng and Lin Ro also went to the back seat of the other car. Everything was ready. The 2 cars drove to their destination, the largest shopping mall in Beijing. There was no traffic jam along the way, and there was no one following behind as Lin Rui imagined. However, this made Lin Rui a little anxious. The weather was very clear today, and the sun was high in the sky. However, this didn't affect the nature of Lin Rui, Jean Ling, and the others. As for Lin Feng and Lin Ro, it was not certain. After all, they were not cultivators. Soon, Lin Rui and the others arrived at the largest shopping mall. Lin Rui parked the car in the parking space, opened the door, and got out. At the same time, Lin Feng and Lin Ro also got out of the car. Lin Rui led them into the shopping mall. Little sister, little brother, you can buy whatever you want. Today, I'll buy you a car. No matter what it is, as long as you want it. Lin Rui walked into the shopping mall and took out the black card. After showing it to Lin Feng and Lin Rou, he put it away. As the saying goes, don't show your wealth to others. Oh, we got it. Then big brother, you have to keep your word. No matter what we buy, you have to buy it for us. At this moment, Lin Rou, who had been standing silently at the side, immediately perked up after hearing her brother's words. She asked excitedly with a smile on her face. Yes, I said it. After getting Lin Rui's permission, Lin Rou and Lin Feng went crazy without restraint. However, Lin Rui didn't expect that the craziest ones weren't Lin Feng and Lin Rou, but Jin Ling, who had just been released by Lin Rui from the Cloud Tower yesterday. Of course, Jin Ling didn't need Lin Rui's permission to buy things. After entering the shopping mall, she had to buy things alone. Lin Rui obviously didn't have it easy, but in the end, Jin Ling took a step back. In the end, the dark group member became Jin Ling's bodyguard. Okay, your sister-in-law has become a runaway horse. You guys go take a look. I'll take a look myself. In a while, I'll bring all the things you want to buy to the checkout area. Then, we'll pay together. When we're done here, we'll go to the bank and help you get 2 bank cards. Then, I'll transfer some money to your cards. Lin Rou and Lin Rou, who had been obediently standing beside Lin Rui, heard their big brother's words. Their eyes lit up and they excitedly walked upstairs. However, Lin Feng stayed where he was. Why don't you go take a look? Seeing that Lin Feng didn't move, Lin Rui couldn't help but ask, don't you like it here? No. No, it's just that you want to buy clothes too, right? It just so happens that we can go to the same place. After hearing Lin Feng's explanation, Lin Rui smiled and led Lin Feng to the men's section on the 3rd floor. Little brother, since Xiao Rou isn't here, I'll ask again. Do you know where mother went? At this moment, Lin Rui couldn't help but ask again on the way to the men's section. However, after hearing Lin Rui's question, Lin Feng's expression clearly changed. The original indifference turned into a bit of fear. Seeing this scene, Lin Rui was even more certain that Lin Feng knew something that he didn't. Big brother, well, you don't have to say any more. It's fine if you don't want to tell me. I don't believe that the person who kidnapped mother will never appear. Okay, I won't ask you about this. When they arrived at the men's section, Lin Rui stopped pressuring Lin Feng. He smiled and led Lin Feng into a men's clothing store. Handsome guys, what kind of clothes do you want to buy? Who wants to buy them? We have just received a batch of French handmade suits. I wonder if the 2 of you are interested in them? At this moment, after Linli and Bibi had entered the clothing store, a middle-aged woman, whose face was covered with thick makeup and who Linli didn't want to look at a second time, walked over to Linli and Bibi and asked in a friendly manner. Lin Rui was fine, but Lin Feng couldn't. After seeing the makeup on the shop assistant's face, he didn't raise his head and curled the corners of his mouth. Seeing this, Lin Rui just smiled. Well, take out all your French custom-made suits. Let my brother try them on. Oh, okay. Wait here, you two. Hearing Lin Rui's words, the shop assistant hurriedly walked inside. After a while, she took out 4 suits of different colors. Handsome, look, this is called a black suit. You'll definitely be awe-inspiring if you wear it. You'll definitely be a Korean oppa. Look at this blue one, it's even more amazing. You'll definitely be full of youthful energy if you wear it. Okay, don't introduce it. Let my brother try it on. We don't know how to feel when you say it like this. Hearing the shop assistant's endless chatter, Lin Rui was annoyed. In the end, he couldn't stand it anymore and quickly pushed Lin Feng out. Hey, okay. Then this handsome guy, you can go and try those 4 sets. Seeing the shop assistant coming over, Lin Feng wanted to say something but stopped. His face was full of reluctance, but in the end, he took the suits from the shop assistant and walked into the fitting room. Oh, my God! At this moment, Lin Rei was very glad that the shop assistant didn't have to talk anymore. A few minutes later, the door of the fitting room where Lin Feng was trying on clothes was pushed open. A very handsome young man with sword-like eyebrows and bright eyes walked out of the room. He looked just like a star on TV. The moment he put on the suit, his temperament was enhanced instantly. Wow, so handsome. At this moment, the shop assistant, who had been standing outside the fitting room, was smitten after seeing Lin Feng's appearance. She almost drooled. How is it? Does it look good? At this moment, Lin Feng hurriedly came to Lin Rei and asked him. His tone was full of eagerness for Lin Rei's approval. Of course. Who is my brother? He'll definitely be a goddess killer in this suit. He won't have to worry about not having a wife in the future. The moment Lin Feng came out, Lin Rei was stunned for a moment. However, he quickly recovered and praised Lin Feng with a smile. Well, since you look so handsome in this suit, you don't have to try on the others. Pack them all up for me. As he spoke, Lin Rei took out his black card from his pocket and handed it to the shop assistant. Yes, I'll do it right away. Please wait for a moment. At this moment, when the shop assistant saw the black card in Lin Rei's hand, the smile on her face became wider and her tone became more flattering. Others might not know the meaning of the black card, but she definitely knew. A black card could not be owned even if one had hundreds of millions of yuan. Moreover, the black card was specially issued by the president of the Swiss bank to people with status and status. She didn't expect to see a person with a black card today. Not long after, the shop assistant came out with 4 bags in her hands. It was obvious that they were the 4 suits that Lin Feng had just bought. Gentlemen, this is your money and bank card, as well as the 4 suits that you bought. After hearing the shop assistant's words, Lin Feng quickly took the clothes and bank card that he had just bought. However, Lin Feng quickly handed the black card to his elder brother. Well, let's go. You bought so many suits, let's go look for other clothes. You can't just wear a suit all the time. Seeing that the matter had been resolved, Lin Li headed outside, and Lin Feng hurriedly followed behind him. At this moment, after seeing Lin Rei leave, the shop assistant couldn't help but mutter, "My God, that young master actually has a black card. How good would it be if I could marry him?" At this moment, Lin Rei, who had just walked out of the shop, suddenly heard the shop assistant's words. His legs turned to jelly and he almost fell to the ground. Fortunately, Lin Rei beside him was quick enough to support him. Of course, Lin Rei certainly couldn't tell Lin Feng the real reason. He couldn't say that he had just heard the shop assistant's words. It's okay. Let's go take a look at that shop. It seems to be a place that sells sportswear and shoes. Since we're here once, I can buy it for you all at once. As he spoke, Lin Rei reached out and took the bags in Lin Feng's hands. He said with a smile, "Little Feng, you go in first. See if there are any clothes that you like. I'll follow behind you. If there are any, just buy them directly. Remember, don't be afraid to save money, as long as it's something that you like." Chapter 195. After saying that, Lin Rei slowed down his pace, while Lin Feng walked quickly toward the clothing store. Alas! Gosh, I'll never buy clothes again. It's too tiring. After seeing Lin Feng walk away, Lin Rei looked a little tired. At this time, Lin Rei regretted agreeing to come out with them, but it was useless to regret. Slowly, Lin Rei arrived at the store where Lin Feng had entered. However, when he reached the door, Lin Feng came out with a bag of clothes. Done? At this time, Lin Rei saw Lin Feng coming out and was surprised. He didn't expect Lin Feng to buy so fast. Well, let's go. You buy some too. After saying that, Lin Feng walked out and walked alone to the store next door. Time passed slowly. Half an hour later, Lin Rei and Lin Feng's hands were full of clothes that they had bought in half an hour. Alas! Let's go. Let's see if they are done. Let's finish shopping and leave quickly. At this time, the two people who came out did not look happy. Instead, they were full of fatigue, as if they had just fought with a cultivator at the Earth Immortal realm. Yes, I feel the same. However, women are born with shopping skills. Let's sit on the chairs in the women's section for a while. I don't want to be their coolie. After a few rounds of discussion, the two of them came to an agreement. That was, they would find a place with chairs where they could observe them. They would sit down and have some drinks, then wait for them. They walked down quickly and sat down in a beverage shop on the second floor. Drinking fragrant cappuccinos, they looked out of the window and watched Jin Ling and Lin Feng. Xiaofan, do you want to continue studying at Yanjing University, transfer to another school, or study abroad? At this time, Lin Rei, who was waiting, thought of Lin Feng's study and couldn't help but ask Lin Feng. Why do you ask this? At this moment, Lin Feng, who was looking around, suddenly asked in confusion after hearing his elder brother's words. Here's the thing. Since we have money now, if you want to go to a better school, it's fine. With your current learning level, it's enough for you to go to a better school. But don't think too much about it. I'm just asking for your opinion. The final answer is still up to you. Oh. Hearing Lin Rei's explanation, Lin Feng immediately understood what Lin Rei meant. He said calmly, I don't want to transfer schools. I'm doing well here, and I know a lot of classmates. If I leave now, firstly, I won't be familiar with other schools. Secondly, I don't want to leave here. After all, I don't know where my mother is. I don't want to leave like this. Sigh. Fine. Since you've decided, then let's do as you wish. But there's one thing that you can't refuse. Hearing Lin Feng's words, Lin Rei said with a smile. His thoughts were exactly the same as his. I'll send people to follow you secretly, but they won't appear in front of others. They'll protect you in the dark. Of course, you can refuse, but if you refuse my conditions, then you can only transfer schools. At this time, Lin Rei had already made up his mind. No one could change his mind, including his younger brother Lin Feng. This, Lin Feng, who was originally in a difficult position, finally calmed down after struggling for a while. Okay, but you have to promise that they won't disturb my life, and definitely can't let my classmates know. After hearing Lin Feng's words, Lin Rei smiled and nodded in agreement. In the end, the two of them reached an agreement, and Lin Rei's plan was halfway to success. I don't believe that the person behind you won't send people to catch you when you appear on campus. When the time comes, I just need to send people to follow the person who caught you, and I'll be able to find the mastermind behind all this. At this time, Lin Feng didn't know that he had unknowingly become a chess piece in his brother's hands. Of course, Lin Rei wouldn't harm him. Looking at each other and smiling, the two of them lowered their heads and drank their coffee, enjoying the beautiful time of their morning tea. However, their happiness didn't last long. Just as they were enjoying their peaceful time, a quarreling voice suddenly sounded. Let me tell you, I want this. No one can take it away from me. Also, do you know that a cheap girl wearing cheap clothes from a street stall would have the money to buy something like this? At this time, in a shop not far away, Lin Ro looked at the woman who was jabbering and mocking her with an aggrieved expression. Although she was also very good-looking, she indeed looked like she was piled up with makeup. It turned out that just now, after Lin Ro came in, she had finally found something after looking around for so long. Just as she took it in her hands, a woman with heavy makeup walked up and grabbed the clothes in Lin Ro's hands. Then, she pushed Lin Ro to the ground with a mocking and disdainful expression on her face. "You, what right do you have to criticize me? What right do you have? Aren't you just relying on money from a man? Look at you, your nose is padded, and you have a sharp chin. One look and I can tell that you've had plastic surgery. What right do you have to criticize me?" At this time, after being pushed to the ground, Lin Ro stood up with an aggrieved expression. She pointed at the woman's nose and verbally attacked her back. Just as they were arguing, Lin Ray and Lin Ro, who were drinking coffee in the distance, came to their side. However, when Lin Ray saw the woman with heavy makeup, the figure of the person who had almost made him hate the world back then surfaced from the depths of his memory. At the same time, a sentence lingered in his mind at this moment and couldn't be erased. "Let's break up." Lin Ray, who originally thought that he had forgotten this sentence, had a self-deprecating expression on his face at this time. "Oh, who was I? So it's the poor boy who I abandoned back then with no money and no power. What, is it that rich guy on the list who came here to buy clothes?" At this time, the woman who was quarreling glanced sideways and saw a familiar figure. She immediately turned her sharp gaze to Lin Ray. She looked at Lin Ray with a hateful expression and scolded him like a shrew. "Heh, Su Yun, I didn't expect that you would become like this after I disappeared from inside. The clever and lovable figure of the past has completely disappeared. Even more so, I didn't expect that when I saw you again, it would be in such a situation." At this time, Lin Ray was pulled back from the memories that he didn't want to recall by his ex-girlfriend Su Yun's infuriating words. "Humph, what's wrong? I've always been like this. Back then, I was just blind to be with you. Now, I don't have the time to waste on you." At this time, Lin Ray saw disgust, pity, and all kinds of disdain in Su Yun's eyes. In an instant, the memories that had originally floated out completely disappeared at this moment. Everything was displayed in the long river of memories. Suddenly, his heart was clear. At this time, Lin Ray could feel that his realm was slowly rising. "Ding dong, congratulations to the host. You have broken through the knot in your heart and your realm has risen. You have broken through to the high level of the Earth Immortal Realm. For this, the system has specially sent an inexhaustible gift to the host. Ding dong, Realm Gift Box. Host, do you accept it?" At this time, after hearing the sound that hadn't been heard for a long time, his heart was excited and his face showed an excited smile. "Accept quickly. Ding dong, congratulations to the host. The gift box has been sent to the storage basket. You can open it at any time. Oh, I didn't expect that I would meet this woman and be able to give me such a big gift." At this time, Lin Ray really wanted to open the gift box now. Whenever he saw his sister being bullied, Lin Ray's happy mood disappeared. His originally smiling face became gloomy at this moment. "Xiao, isn't it just a piece of clothing? We don't want this clothing." Lin Ray, who had recovered from his joy, silently brushed past Su Yun, and went directly to Lin Ro's side. He took Lin Ro's hand and said, "Ha ha ha, Lin Ray, oh Lin Ray, I didn't expect that after 2 years, you are even weaker than before. I really," at this time, when she was talking to Lin Ray with a mocking face, she was completely choked by Lin Ray's next sentence. Lin Ray took Lin Ro's hand and went to the front desk. He took out his black card and handed it to the shop assistant. He said without any expression, "Pick out all the clothes in your shop that are suitable for my sister. Remember, all of them, and they must be the most expensive ones." At this moment, in the eyes of everyone in the shop, Lin Ray had undoubtedly become the most handsome and influential person. However, the white hair on his head was particularly dazzling. Ah. Okay, sir, please wait a moment. I will measure your sister's size. At this time, the shop assistant came to her senses and quickly agreed to Lin Rei's request. She took Lin Ro's hand and walked into the fitting room inside. How is it possible? How can you have so much money? No, it's impossible, it must be. At this time, Su Yun, who was now in the back, was no longer as arrogant and self-righteous as before when Lin Rei took out the black card. At this time, in addition to being surprised, she couldn't believe it. She even kept saying in her mind, this must be from a rich woman. Yes, it must be. Ha. Suddenly, after Su Yun, finished speaking, a burst of hearty laughter came from Lin Rei's mouth. Su Yun, I don't want to say more about this matter. For the sake of our previous friendship, if you don't want to be too embarrassed, you should leave quickly. He turned around and looked at Su Yun, who was like a clown, with pitiful eyes. The corner of his mouth could not help but twitch, revealing a disdainful expression. Humph, you wait for me. I won't let you go. Just wait. After hearing Lin Rei's words, Su Yun, who was originally very smart, directly left a ruthless sentence, turned around and ran out awkwardly. Chapter 196. Sigh. Seeing Su Yun run out angrily, the knot in Lin Rei's heart was finally untied. But when he thought of the days they used to be together, he couldn't help but feel a little strange. Forget it. This person is just a passerby in my life. Why should I worry about it? After that, Lin Rei showed a relaxed smile on his face. He turned around and looked at Lin Ro, who had gone in to take her measurements. At this time, she had already walked out, but her face was blushing. Okay, in a while, all the clothes will be sent to Tianwan Garden Villa 056. As for the cost, just directly deduct it from the card. At this time, Lin Rei thought that there were so many clothes that he couldn't take away, so he said to the boss. Ah. Okay. After the matter was settled, Lin Rei took Lin Feng and Lin Ro out of the clothing store. At this time, Jean Ling came out from somewhere else. But what gave Lin Rei a headache was that at this moment, Jean Ling was carrying a lot of things in her hands. Moreover, she looked like she hadn't bought enough and was about to go to another clothing store. F***ck, is this woman crazy? Coincidentally, Lin Rei, who came out, saw the things in Jean Ling's hands. Coupled with her posture, he couldn't help but curse. Then, he wanted to turn around and hide. But the reality was unpredictable. What Lin Rei didn't want to happen still happened. Hubby, come here quickly. My mom is gone. Help me carry these. The clothes here are really beautiful. I haven't bought enough. Suddenly, after hearing Jean Ling's words, it was exactly what he thought. But he couldn't refuse, so he could only turn around with a smile and walk towards Jean Ling. That's enough, right? You see, there are so many things. Even if you take them home, you'll just put them away. It's better to buy them when you want to change clothes. Why do you have to buy them all at once and then go home and worry about which clothes to wear? At this moment, Lin Rei, who had finished speaking, saw Jean Ling's expression. Lin Rei really wanted to slap himself. His face was full of regret. Humph, what do you mean? Do you mean that I will feel conflicted about what to wear? Do you mean that you don't want to buy it? Do you mean that you don't want to help me carry things? At this moment, Lin Rei really had an unspeakable feeling. He really wanted to explain, but Jean Ling didn't give him the chance to. Alright, I won't say anything else. Here's your stuff. I'll walk around for a while. When I've bought everything, we'll go out. He placed all the bags of clothes in his hands in front of Lin Li. Then, he took Lin Ro's arm and walked towards the clothing store nearby. At this moment, Lin Feng, who was standing next to Linley, was watching the show with a gloating look on his face. His face was full of smiles. "Humph, what are you laughing at? You can't run away. You see, your sister-in-law is so good to you. Shouldn't you contribute some strength? Shouldn't you take some of your sister-in-law's belongings?" At this moment, Lin Rui, who was worried, saw his younger brother laughing at this scene. In an instant, he vented all the grievances he had suffered from Jin Ling on Lin Feng. "What? You? How can you do this? It's sister-in-law who asked you to take it." At this moment, Lin Feng, who had been smiling, instantly pulled a long face when he heard his elder brother's shameless words. At this moment, Lin Feng really wanted to die. He regretted that he had looked down on his elder brother for being controlled by a woman. "Alright, don't give me that expression. Since we are good brothers, we have to bear the consequences together." As he spoke, Lin Rui picked up Jin Ling's belongings and handed half of them to Lin Feng. He put on an expression as if it was natural. This scene made Lin Feng want to beat him up. "Humph, you only know how to bully me. If you have the ability, say this to your sister-in-law." After the matter was settled, Lin Rui didn't care about Lin Feng's words at all. Anyway, it didn't hurt or itch. Besides, he was his own brother. It was nothing. Time passed quickly. Lin Rui and Lin Feng followed behind Jin Ling and Lin Feng. Every time they entered a shop, Jin Ling would fiercely sweep through it. Not only that, it was fine for Jin Ling to buy alone. The key point was that she would buy 2 sets, one for herself and one for Lin Rui. This made Lin Rui and Lin Feng, who were carrying the items behind them, unhappy, but they had no choice. Jin Ling, who had originally said that she would spin for a while, continued to spin indifferently after more than an hour. This made Lin Rui, who was behind them, unhappy. "Ling, what's wrong with you today? Let's go shopping. I'm not afraid of you spending money, but have you ever thought about me? Look at me now." At this time, Lin Rui's body, hands, and even neck were all filled with bags of clothes. There was no space at all. He could only see the road in front of him clearly. Not only that, but Lin Feng was also like this. Half an hour ago, Lin Feng wanted to resist, but when he thought of his sister-in-law's belongings, he could only complain to Lin Rui in the end. This is okay. I was wrong. I won't buy it, okay? Just stroll around, okay?" At this time, after hearing Lin Rui's voice, Jin Ling stopped and looked at Lin Rui and Lin Rui. Her cheeks flushed red and she looked embarrassed. "No, it's almost time now. I have something to do in a while. Right now. Hurry up and behave yourself." With that, Lin Rui's face turned cold. Then, he carried the bags and walked downstairs to the counter in the center of the building. When Lin Feng saw the scene just now, he couldn't help but give Lin Rui a thumbs up in his heart. He quickly followed Lin Rui's footsteps and walked downstairs. As for Jin Ling, who was left behind by Lin Rui, she felt wronged at this time. However, when she thought of Lin Rui's expression just now, all the grievances disappeared in an instant. Lin Rui, who had been following beside her, was even more shocked by Lin Rui's appearance just now. Sister-in-law, big brother's appearance just now was so scary. Does he often lose his temper like this? Hearing Lin Rui's words, Jin Ling's face showed a happy expression. The previous grievances and fear disappeared. She looked at Lin Rui and said, "Your brother. Your brother is a very, very gentle person. He is very good to me and For us, he is not afraid of any hardships. He is the best man in the world, but sometimes he can be very overbearing." At this moment, when Jin Ling mentioned Linley, her face couldn't help but reveal a blissful smile. What? My brother was very good to you and Who is Why haven't I seen him before? Now, Lin Ro, who was next to her, quietly listened to the influence of Big Brother from her sister-in-law's words. Of course, what puzzled her the most was whom she had never seen before. Oh, he's our son, the son of your brother and I. However, in order to commemorate my grandfather's memory of him, your brother gave him my surname and named him Jean N. He wanted him to remember the pain I went through when I gave birth to him. He wanted him to remember this kindness. What, you and my brother have a son? At this time, Lin Ro seemed to have heard a huge piece of news. An expression of disbelief appeared on her face. She really couldn't believe that her brother, who was only 3 years old, had a child. Well, let's talk about this later. Look, your brother and the others are gone. Let's hurry up and leave too. After speaking, Jean Ling looked up and saw that her husband was gone. She anxiously grabbed Lin Ro's hand and chased after them. How is that possible? Big Brother has only disappeared for 2 years. Why is there so much mystery when he comes back? He has become rich, his wife left him, he has a child, and his personality seems to have changed a lot. At this time, Lin Ro, who was being pulled forward by her sister-in-law, kept thinking about what Jean Ling said to her just now. Of course, Jean Ling, who was next to her, didn't know that because of her words, Lin Ro was completely depressed. Okay, we caught up at noon. Suddenly, Jean Ling stopped and said this. She let go of Lin Ro's hand and quickly came to Lin Rei's side. She couldn't help but throw herself into Lin Rei's arms and act coquettishly. Honey, I was wrong. I was wrong, okay? You know, it's my first time here. I used to wear those kinds of clothes. It's inevitable that I can't control myself when I see new things. But don't worry, I won't do it again, okay? Alas. Ling, it's not that I don't want you to buy clothes, but it's really not suitable for me. If you want to buy clothes in the future, you can come here with Lin Ro. I really can't stand to follow you around. It's more tiring than when I killed earthly immortals. I'd rather face an earthly immortal expert and have a big fight with him than come here. At this time, looking at Jean Ling, who was hanging on his body, Lin Rei couldn't help but feel a little guilty. He felt guilty for losing his temper just now. Okay, I know. I won't drag you here in the future. When I come here in the future, I'll bring Xiaofan and Xiao Ro, okay? Lin Feng, who was watching the show from the side, was shocked by the sudden words. No, sister-in-law, I'm not suitable. I still have to go to school. At this time, after hearing Jean Ling's words, Lin Feng's face fell instantly. He looked at Jean Ling with pleading eyes and begged. It's okay. In a while, I'll ask your elder brother to buy you a car. When I want to go shopping, you can just come out in the car. And I'll find you when you're resting. This way, I won't disturb your classes and you can come out to play. Isn't that great? Chapter 197. In the end, everything was a foregone conclusion. Not only that, after Jean Ling said these words, Lin Rei also cheered Jean Ling on from the side, fulfilling Jean Ling's idea. Okay, the money for the purchase has been paid. Let's go. Give them 2 bank cards, then according to your sister-in-law's request, go to the car shop and pick 2 cars you like. With that, Lin Rei took Jean Ling's hand first and walked out, while Lin Rei and Lin Fengse followed behind. Soon, they left the mall and went to the place where they parked their cars. As the saying goes, the sky is going to rain, and the mother is going to get married. The sky is full of unforeseen events. Anything could happen. Just as Lin Rei and the others left the mall and came to the open space outside, a group of more than 20 people dressed in all kinds of clothes surrounded Lin Rei and the others, as if they had taken a liking to Lin Rei and the others. At this time, a middle-aged man with a strong body, a face full of stubble, a cigarette dangling, and a thick gold chain around his neck, who looked like a hooligan, walked up and asked Lin Rei and the others. "Which one of you is Lin Rei?" Sure enough, Lin Rei was right. These people were all here for him. However, Lin Rei didn't understand. He had only been back for a few days and hadn't offended anyone. Why would people surround him? This big brother, I am Lin Rei. May I know why you are looking for me? Big brother, you. At this time, Lin Ro, who was at the back, saw her big brother's appearance. For a moment, she looked at Lin Rei with a puzzled gaze. However, before she could finish her sentence, a hand grabbed her arm, indicating that she shouldn't speak. Oh. I was wondering who it was. It turns out to be a coward like you. What a waste of our time. When the middle-aged man saw Lin Rei, a mocking, disdainful expression appeared on his face as he said, "Since you're Lin Rei, then there's nothing more to say. This time, we're here for you. However, if you can give the 2 girls behind you to me, I'll consider it. I won't beat you up too badly. At most, I'll make you stay in the hospital for a few days." In an instant, the moment the man finished speaking, Lin Rei, who had originally appeared cowardly, suddenly released the pressure of a superior being. However, the expression on his face became even more obvious. What's going on? Why do I feel this kind of aura from him? Big brother, this can't be. They're the people closest to me. One is my wife, the other is my sister. Can you change it to someone else? *CK, who do you think I am? How dare you bargain with me here? Of course, if you don't want to, then I'll beat all the men to the ground and drag all the women back to rape. At that time, you won't just be staying in the hospital for a few days. At this time, after hearing Lin Rei's words, the middle-aged man's temper flared up. The inexplicable pressure of a superior being that he felt before was completely thrown to the back of his mind at this moment. Not only that, but the 20 or so hooligans brought by the middle-aged man were now full of lust. When they looked at Jin Ling and Lin Ro, their eyes were filled with lust. They couldn't wait to do Jin Ling and Lin Ro right now. "Big brother, I beg you. I can't let my woman sleep with another man, let alone my sister. Uncles, big brothers, don't be like this. I have no enmity with you. Why are you doing this?" At this time, Lin Rei's eyes were full of killing intent. However, Lin Rei bent down and lowered his head, so others couldn't see his gaze at all. The people from the dark unit behind him were ready to make a move when they appeared, but they were stopped by Lin Rei's voice transmission. Kid, don't blame us. We're just taking someone's money to get rid of them, so don't blame us. Brothers, do it. After saying that, the middle-aged man waved to his brothers. The hooligans who surrounded Lin Rei and the others began to prepare to make a move on Lin Rei and the others. Wait. Big brother, I still have a lot of questions. Since we can't escape from your hands, then each of you should fulfill my request and then take action. Just as everyone was about to make a move, Lin Rei finally led the matter to the crux of the problem. From the beginning, Lin Rei pretended to be a cowardly man in order to uncover the mastermind behind the scenes. Otherwise, there would be endless trouble. Lin Rei didn't want to let his loved ones fall into a dangerous situation when he wasn't around. Oh, you're pretty smart, kid. That's good. Since you've said so, I might as well tell you. This matter happened when you were in this shopping mall with a woman you couldn't afford to offend. Now you know about it, right? At this moment, after hearing the middle-aged man's words, Lin Rei finally understood why. It turned out that Su Yun left a ruthless sentence before she left. At that time, Lin Rei thought that Su Yun was just saying it, and he didn't take it seriously at all. However, the result made Lin Rei very surprised, and even disappointed. Oh, so that's how it is. What did I say? I just came back not long ago. How could I offend anyone? I didn't expect it to be that woman. As the saying goes, a femme fatale. I didn't expect that woman to be so ruthless. At this time, Su Yun had been blacklisted in Lin Rei's mind in public. He was even the real mastermind behind Su Yun. Lin Rei hated it the most when others used his family and friends to threaten him, and even used his woman as a bargaining chip. This was the thing that Lin Rei hated the most in his life. Obviously, these people in front of him had touched Lin Rei's taboo. It seems that this matter can't be settled peacefully. At this time, Lin Rei, who spoke, straightened his back. His face was filled with killing intent and anger as he looked at the people in front of him. For a time, everyone present was no longer alive in Lin Rei's eyes. In his eyes, they were all dead in the next moment. Of course, the middle-aged man in front of him, who was the leader of the ruffians, also saw Lin Rei's situation. At this time, the man's eyes were filled with shock. He found it hard to believe that the Lin Rei in front of him was the same person as the cowardly Lin Rei from before. Boy, now that you know, you should obediently stay where you are and wait for our brothers to torture you. At this time, after the man discovered the change in Lin Rei's aura, he wanted to give up. But for the sake of his face, he still braced himself and said ruthlessly. Just now, your words have angered me. What qualifications do you have to be a ruffian? You even said that you want to get my woman and sister. I'm really amused by your courage. At this time, Lin Rei had a sarcastic smile on his face. He slowly walked towards the middle-aged man step by step. His tone was so cold that it suffocated them. Also, I'll return the words you said just now. This time, I will make sure that you stay in the hospital forever. Also, pass a message to the master behind you. Tell him that this is the first and last time. I don't want there to be a next time. Otherwise, I will make them disappear from this world forever. No matter who they are or what their background is, even if they are a young master of an aristocratic family. Kacha, the sound of bones breaking came from the kneecap of the middle-aged man. This sound instantly made everyone present stunned. In their eyes, it was impossible for such a skinny person to be a threat to the strong man. Obviously, they were wrong. When Lin Rei came to the front of the ruffian, he directly kicked the man's knee. In an instant, the man's body tilted and fell directly to the ground. A blood-curdling scream came out of the man's mouth. His face was ferocious and his eyes were filled with shock as he looked at the man in front of him. The man who had previously mocked and threatened him was now mocking him. Today, no one here can escape. I will let you and the forces behind you know that there is only one outcome for offending me and threatening the people around me, and that is death. As he spoke, Lin Li's figure appeared in front of the many ruffians like a ghost. One by one, he shattered all of their knees. It was the kind of shattering that could never be healed and could never be healed. Suddenly, the scene was very shocking. Everyone was stunned, including the passers-by and the mall's security guards. Of course, this included the previously doubtful Lin Feng and Lin Ro. At this moment, in front of the mall, other than the screams, there were no more sounds of cars. Even the passers-by began to hold their breaths. They didn't even dare to breathe loudly because they weren't sure if Lin Rei would do anything to them. This time, I will teach you a lesson. Tell Su Yun that if there is another time, I will make him disappear from this world completely. Of course, I will also deal with the rich people behind him. After saying that, Lin Rei didn't look at them anymore. He went to Jean Ling's side, took her hand, and then prepared to leave. Unfortunately, just as the middle-aged man brought 20 men to surround Lin Rei and his group, the mall security guard picked up the phone without hesitation and called the police station directly. Even more unfortunately, he didn't come earlier or later. He had to wait until Lin Rei was done with the beating. Just as Lin Rei was about to drive away, 3 police cars came directly in front of Lin Rei and his group. Seeing this scene, Lin Rei frowned. Chapter 198. At this time, when Lin Rei saw the police cars stop in front of him and the others, Lin Rei originally wanted to leave without caring about anything, but because of the current place, Lin Rei suppressed the restlessness in his heart. After the arrival of the police car, the onlookers became even more lively. Even those who didn't intend to watch gathered around to watch the show. In an instant, the door of the first police car parked at the front opened, and a woman wearing low-heeled leather shoes appeared in the eyes of Lin Rei and the others. Slowly, her legs, then her entire body, and finally, her face that was a little too beautiful appeared in front of everyone's eyes. This woman, wearing a police uniform, completely reflected her beautiful and enchanting figure, coupled with her devastatingly beautiful appearance, made many men the existence of a woman in their dreams. However, at this time, the woman with a cold face and handcuffs in her hand reluctantly came in front of Lin Rei and the others, and said, "What's the matter? Who called just now?" A clear and lively voice, like the cry of an oriole, directly outlined the desire in the minds of all the people present. I, comrade police, I made the call." At this time, after the policewoman finished speaking, the mall security guard, who was not far away, quickly came forward and replied with a flattering face. "It's you, didn't you say that there were more than 20 people surrounding a few people, and that there were people gathering to fight, and now? What's the situation?" Seeing the security guard's appearance, the policewoman looked disgusted, inadvertently took 2 steps back, and asked the mall security guard about the previous situation. This. After listening to the policewoman's question, the security guard, whose face was full of flattery, turned his head to look at Lin Rei with trembling head, and then said hesitantly, Originally, there were people who wanted to surround them, but later, the facts couldn't keep up with the changes. The people who were surrounded directly beat up the 20 people who surrounded them." After the mall security guard finished speaking, his eyes drifted to the frowning Lin Rei next to him, and the cold sweat on his head inadvertently fell down for a long time. His heart was incomparably scared. "Oh? There's such a thing?" After listening to the mall security guard's words, the policewoman's eyes flashed, and she looked at the 20 people lying on the ground with interest. Obviously, the 20 people that the security guard just said were more than 20 people. "Who beat these people? Stand up for me." At this time, after the policewoman glanced at the people lying on the ground holding their knees and screaming in pain, she raised her head and swept her eyes around the crowd around her. Her domineering words blurted out thundered directly to the crowd. "What is this? What is this called? What? What is this called to handcuff the people on the ground, and then brought to the police station? What is to everyone's imagination? You dare to do it, but you don't dare to admit it. Who did the best? Stand up for me. I will say it again. If you don't stand up, I can't guarantee what will happen next." At this time, after the policewoman arrived, Lin Rei, who had been standing alone, had been paying attention to the policewoman. As a result, there was really a different discovery. Lin Rei did not expect that this policewoman was a cultivator at the 5th level of qi refining, but because of the woman's performance, Lin Rei was very unhappy. Okay, you are really a coward. You beat people but you are still fine standing in the crowd as if nothing happened. In that case, don't blame me for being rude. The policewoman saw that after she finished speaking, no one stood up. This made her feel that her face was deeply hurt, and she immediately became angry. Say, who put these 20 people down? The policewoman asked the security guard with an angry expression. This, police officer, I really don't know who it is. I only know that these people are surrounding him. The man's entire body was trembling. His face was filled with terror as he pointed at Linley behind him. He immediately retreated to the side, afraid that Linley would do something to him if he retreated. Huh? Are you the one who beat these 20 people down? When he saw that the person the security guard pointed to was the typical gigolo Lin Ray who looked weak and had no strength, he asked with a look of disbelief. Yes, why? As the security guard brother said just now, they brought so many people to besiege us, and he also said that he would give my wife and sister to him, so I couldn't hold back and could only put them down. Of course, I still understand the law. I waited for them to make a move before I made a move. This is called justifiable self-defense in the law. It is an innocent act, so you are not qualified to arrest me. For a time, Lin Ray used modern laws to make up for all the troubles he could think of. There was no omission at all. He took the upper hand from passive to active. At this moment, everyone present was stunned. They did not expect that this seemingly weak young man would be able to say that he would. He had minimized everything that could happen. Humph, I don't want to hear this. Anyway, I only saw that you beat them up. As for the specifics, go back to the police station for me. When the matter is investigated, I will naturally release you. After hearing Lin Ray's words, the policewoman originally just wanted to go back and make a statement. However, after hearing Lin Ray's words, the policewoman lost her temper. In a fit of anger, she directly blurted out what she shouldn't have said. However, when she regretted it, it was already too late. Once she said it, there was no reason to take it back because of her face. Humph, okay, I'll go back with you. However, they didn't do anything to my family. I don't want them to go with me. However, if you insist, then I'm not a vegetarian. When the time comes, I'll report this matter to your immediate superior, or even higher. At that time, it's not certain who will be punished. At this moment, Lin Ray was also angry. However, when he thought that his wife was not from this world, she had no identity to patrol at all. Therefore, Lin Ray did not want them to recognize Jin Ling's identity. He did not want his younger brother and sister to enter the police station. As the saying goes, if you don't enter the government, you won't enter hell if you die. He did not want his family to get involved with the people of the government, but he did not care. After all, no one in this world could do anything to him. Okay. Hearing Lin Ray's words, the policewoman also thought about it for a while. She felt that what Lin Ray said was quite reasonable. In addition, she herself found it troublesome. Therefore, she agreed to Lin Ray's conditions. In that case, let's go. You go find a big car and then pull them all to the police station. Then, sell them to the hospital and call them to the police station to take a look at them. After the matter was done, the policewoman turned around and said to the other policeman who walked out of the police car behind her. Yes, I'll do it right away. After hearing the policewoman's words, the policeman at the back immediately turned around and walked towards the back. After a while, the policeman drove a bus that was big enough to seat more than 20 people. Let's go. The matter is settled. Come back to the police station with me. Seeing that the matter was settled, the policewoman said to the calm Lin Ray. Well, I'll say a few words to my family. Hearing the policewoman's words, Lin Ray turned around and said to Jin Ling, take them to the bank in a while and then get them 2 cards. Then, according to what you said before, buy them 2 cars. Of course, if you like them too, you can also buy them. After everything is done, go home immediately and don't come out. I'll go to the police station with them and we'll be back soon. Well, I got it. You must be careful. Although I don't know if there are cultivators in this world, you still have to be careful, just in case. After I'm done with them, I'll go home. At this moment, Jean Ling's face didn't have the slightest bit of worry about Lin Rui. This was very abnormal in the eyes of others, but in Jean Ling's heart, she wasn't worried at all because she was very clear about her husband's strength. Well, I got it. And you must protect a young lady, miss, and young master well. If you encounter danger, I don't need to tell you what to do, right? After hearing Jean Ling's words, Lin Rui's tone suddenly changed. A domineering and murderous sentence was said to the people of the Dark Department who had been following behind him. Here, other than Jean Ling and the people of the Dark Department who could feel the murderous intent on Lin Rui's body, they could only feel a cool breeze blowing behind their backs. Yes, young master. I, Zhang Lin, will definitely not disappoint young master's order. I will definitely protect a young lady, miss, and young master. If not, I am willing to be struck by lightning and die a horrible death. At this moment, the people of the Dark Department said to Lin Rui with a serious face. If this was in Tianxian, Zhang Lin would have already knelt on the ground. Well, okay, you can go now. With that, Lin Rui turned around and went to the policewoman's side. He opened the car door and sat in it. Jean Ling and the others who stayed in the same place drove away after Lin Rui left to deal with Lin Feng and the others. Time passed quickly. At this time, Lin Rui was on the way back to the police station in the police car. He closed his eyes and didn't say a word. The policewoman didn't listen to him and looked at Lin Rui, who was sitting in the back with his eyes closed from time to time. Finally, the policewoman couldn't help but speak. Hey, boy, what's your name? Hey, boy, I'm asking you. The policewoman saw that Lin Rui, who was sitting in the back, didn't speak when she spoke. For a moment, anger surged and she had an impulse to explode at any time. Boy, I'll ask you one last time. Who are you? What's your name? Just as he was thinking about what to do in the future, Lin Rui heard the policewoman talking non-stop. For a moment, he frowned, opened his eyes, and said coldly. My name is Lin Rui. I'm from J City. If there's anything you don't know, you can ask at the police station. You don't have the right to ask me questions now. Humph, what are you talking about? I'm a police officer. I have the right to ask you whenever I want. You just need to answer honestly. Why are you talking so much nonsense? The policewoman sitting in front heard Lin Rui's answer, but it was not the answer she had in mind. Her face suddenly became angry and she couldn't control it. Boy, I'm telling you, you have to tell me the whole story of the case honestly. If you want to hide it, I believe you don't have to come out. Instead, you can spend the rest of your life in prison. Alas. At this time, after Lin Rui heard the policewoman's words, he couldn't help but sigh regretfully and said, I say, don't tell me that your police station is full of people with big boobs and no brains. You already know the discovery of the case, but you still want to talk to me here to understand the situation of the case. I say, even if you're stupid, you should have the awareness of being stupid. Since you're stupid, don't talk anymore. Suddenly, a sentence directly made the already angry policewoman explode. Boy, I think you want to die. No one has dared to talk to me, Su Qian, like that since I was a child. You're dead. In an instant, when the policewoman spoke, one hand had already reached for the pistol at her waist and aimed directly at Lin Rui's head. Her face showed a look that said, the gun is in my hand. Your life is in my hands. Maybe I'll spare you even if you beg me. It was also at this moment that Lin Li blacklisted the policewoman named Su Qian. After seeing Su Qian's action, the policeman who was driving hurriedly braked and stopped directly by the side of the road. After the police cars behind saw the first car stop, they thought that Lin Rui was attacking the police. They all got out of the car and instantly took out their guns. They came to the police car where Lin Rui was sitting in a well-trained manner. All the muzzles were directly pointed at the place where Lin Rui was sitting. Su Qian, put down your gun. Do you think you have the right to shoot now? Even if he's a heinous villain, you can't settle it on your own. What's more, she's not. He's just a victim. So, for your actions, I have the right to sue you. You have to think carefully. Does your family allow you to have this label on you? At this time, in the car, the policeman who was driving reprimanded Su Qian, who was angrily pointing a gun at Lin Rui. At this time, Lin Rui understood that it was not this policewoman named Su Qian who had the highest rank in the past few years. It was only because she had a powerful force behind her. Oh, it seems that you are still a reasonable person. But I don't mind you doing this because you have already become a member of the blacklist in my heart. So, if you do this again, I can't guarantee that I will do something excessive. Lin Li smiled slightly. After speaking to the two of them, he closed his eyes and continued to rest. Su Qian, who saw this scene, was even more furious. However, because of what her colleague said before, she could only grit her teeth and swallow her anger. Okay, let's go back. It's nothing. After the matter was resolved, the policeman said to his colleague outside the car window. Then, he started the police car and continued to drive to the police station. The farce was over. Although Su Qian was still very unhappy with Lin Rui, she endured it in the end. She wanted to go to the police station and find a way to deal with him. Chapter 199. Soon, Lin Rui and the others arrived at the Yanjing South City Police Station. After the car stopped, Lin Rui didn't get out of the car. His expression was still the same as before. He was calm, and there wasn't any expression on his face. I beg you, let me go. I really didn't rape that woman. She came up by herself. Uncle, please let us go. I didn't steal anything. Let me go quickly. At this time, when Lin Rui arrived at the entrance of the police station, he saw many people begging and wailing at the entrance. They all said that they weren't guilty, but in the end, they were all guilty of serious crimes. When Lin Rui saw this, he didn't have any sympathy for their behavior. In fact, Lin Rui felt a deep hatred for them. Alright, what are you looking at? Don't tell me you want to become one of them. Just when Lin Rui was in a daze, another Lin Rui's annoying voice came from behind. His voice was very domineering. Alright, Xiao Qian, don't be like this. If the bureau chief sees this, we'll be done for. At this time, the policeman beside Su Qian saw Su Qian's behavior and quickly came forward to lecture her. I know. I'll be more careful in the future. Su Qian turned around and stuck out her tongue playfully. She smiled at the policeman and said. After that, the few of them brought Lin Rui and the people who were injured by Lin Rui to the police station. When they walked in, Lin Rui saw all kinds of people. There were rapists, thieves, peeking at others bathing, and even people who were accused of commercial crimes. Big Brother Yun, bring those injured people to the car and let the professional medical personnel take a look. I'll bring her to the interrogation room and let him take notes. After Su Qian said this to the policeman, she brought Lin Rui to the interrogation room next door without allowing him to refute. With a click, the door of the interrogation room was pushed open by Su Qian. Then, she made an inviting gesture and said to Lin Rui, "Please, Mr. Lin." Looking at the dark room, Lin Rui walked in without hesitation. Soon, the lights in the interrogation room were turned on. At this time, Su Qian walked to Lin Rei step by step and sat down with a smile. Well, now that you're in the police station, I have the right to interrogate you. At that moment, Su Qian, who was sitting down, spoke through gritted teeth. Sometimes, it was the final interrogation. Sure, but I don't agree with what you're doing because this isn't my fault at all. What I'm doing is also a form of self-defense. So, I advise you not to be stupid. Don't do anything stupid in a moment of anger. At this moment, Lin Rei's voice was very calm. It was so calm that Su Qian felt a trace of fear. Humph, pretending to be mysterious. Alright, let me ask you, what is your name? Lin Rei, where are they from? J City. Gender? See for yourself. At this time, Lin Rei was confused by her questions. What gender? F*CK, can't you see for yourself? After hearing Lin Rei's words, Su Qian directly slapped the table in front of her. Suddenly, the sound resounded throughout the interrogation room. Kid, let me tell you, you better show some respect here. Don't be glib with your words, or I'll teach you a lesson. Gender? Do you want to feel it? At this time, Lin Rei was also angry. He had never seen a police officer work like this. Of course, he had never seen it before. Kid, you really want to die, don't you? How dare you openly flirt with a police officer? Do you know that I have recorded everything just now? Just this matter alone is enough to send you to jail for a few years. After saying that, Su Qian directly drove to the camera next to her. Then, she picked up the camera and shook it in front of Lin Rei. After that, she said to Lin Rei with a triumphant smile. However, looking at all of Su Qian's actions, Lin Rei still had nothing to say. To put it bluntly, this was the rhythm of her wanting to kill him. Even if he said anything, it would be useless. Alright, stop talking nonsense. What do you want? Hurry up and say it. I still have things to do. I don't want to be crazy here with you. Lin Rei directly said what was in his heart because he didn't want to waste time here. Sometimes, it was with someone he didn't know and hated. Great, I was waiting for you to say that. Hearing Lin Rei's words, Su Qian's face showed a smile and said, I want you to apologize to me for what happened before. Also, I want you to fight with me. Ugh. Are you sure? When Su Qian said the conditions, Lin Rei was stunned. It didn't matter if she apologized or not, but fighting, such a thing, Lin Rei really felt that he heard it wrong. Yes, I'm sure. I'm sure. I just want you to fight with me. You can knock down more than 20 people by yourself. You must be a person with martial arts. When it came to Su Qian who wanted to fight, she was completely different from the one Lin Rei had seen before. The previous one was hated by Lin Rei, but this character who wanted to fight whenever she wanted to. Lin Rei appreciated it, but it was just appreciation. He had no other thoughts. Well, if that's the case, then come on. However, you have to remember what you said. If you lose, you have to let me go immediately. But if you go back on your words, then don't blame me for being impolite. Lin Rei didn't say much nonsense and directly prepared to fight, but in reality, it was better to ask clearly what he had promised before. Otherwise, he would be accused of assaulting a police officer. Then, the loss would outweigh the gain. Well, I will never break my promise. Then, come on. Boom. Just as Su Qian finished speaking, the power that had been stored in her body instantly exploded. In an instant, Su Qian's right leg had already become full of cracks. Seeing this scene, Lin Li's face instantly fell. Because he felt that Su Qian had already used her spiritual power. For an ordinary person to use her spiritual power, it was obvious that she wanted to send him to the hospital. Seeing this scene, Lin Rei did not hold back. For a cultivator in the middle stage of the crossing calamity stage, an ant at the 5th level of the chi cultivation stage, she was not even a speck of dust. In an instant, Su Qian came in front of Lin Rei and aimed at Lin Rei's throat, which was a fatal place. "Humph, you were rude to me before. If I don't beat you to the hospital this time, I am not Su Qian." Of course, this sentence could only be silently thought in her heart. In reality, as a law enforcement officer, she absolutely could not say it. "Oh, since you are looking for death, then don't blame me." Seeing Su Qian's action, Lin Rei did not hesitate and directly imitated the roundhouse kick in Taekwondo. In an instant, he kicked Su Qian's chest. In an instant, Su Qian flew out. Dong, Su Qian fell on the table and then fell to the ground. This time, she recovered for a long time. "What? How is it possible?" At this time, Su Qian, who fell to the ground, did not think about whether she was in pain or not, but looked at Lin Rei with shock. She was very puzzled. How is it possible? He is just an ordinary person. Moreover, his previous move was just a roundhouse kick. How could it make me, a cultivator who has already used spiritual power, so embarrassed? Su Qian was very puzzled. She even suspected that what happened just now was an accident. "Humph, again. I don't believe that I can't beat you." Su Qian, who stood up, ignored the dust on her body and directly used her spiritual power to attack Lin Rei again. "Oh, in that case, this time, I will make you unable to get up completely and let you have a taste of being beaten." In an instant, Lin Rei moved. He used the butterfly steps and Lin Rei's figure turned into a phantom and disappeared from the interrogation room. When Su Qian, who rushed over, saw this scene, she was shocked. She was shocked by Lin Rei's movement technique and was even more shocked that she could not see through it. "Little girl, remember, there is always someone better than you. Leave a way out when you do things. Today, I will give you this principle for free. Don't thank me." Just when Su Qian looked around and wanted to find Lin Rei's figure, a familiar voice came from behind her. "Humph, pretending to be mysterious." After knowing Lin Rei's position, Su Qian moved in an instant and attacked again, but she still missed. Seeing this scene, Su Qian was completely stunned. She originally wanted to use this opportunity to deal with Lin Rei, but someone else dealt with her instead. "There's one more thing I want to tell you. This is probably the last time we'll see each other, so let me give you a piece of advice. As a woman, you should leave. As a woman, you're really annoying right now. Dong." After finishing his words, Lin Rei did not hesitate and directly kicked Su Qian's lower abdomen. Her body flew backward in an instant. "Well, the matter is done. I have done what you wanted me to do. Now, I should leave. Remember at least what I said." After seeing that Su Qian was lying on the ground and could no longer get up, Lin Rei's figure appeared in front of her. After saying a few words to Su Qian with a smile on his face, he opened the door of the interrogation room and walked out. Su Qian, who was lying on the ground, wanted to stand up and stop Lin Rei. However, she could not even protect herself now, let alone stand up and stop him. At this time, Su Qian was very upset. It was not because of Lin Rei's kick, but because her self-esteem was deeply hurt. Since she was young, no one had ever treated her like this. Everyone surrounded her and held her in the palm of their hands. "Humph, Linley, just you wait. This matter won't end just like this. I'll definitely beat you to the ground and make you beg for mercy in front of your great aunt." Slowly, Su Qian stood up and supported herself on the table. She said fiercely to Lin Rei, who was walking out. Her eyes were full of hatred. However, Lin Rei, who walked out of the police station, did not walk in the direction of his home. Instead, he walked in a random direction. Chapter 200. What's wrong? You don't seem to be in a good mood. At this time, Lin Rei was walking in the bustling city of Yanjing. His eyes were filled with confusion when the little dragon's voice suddenly came from the system. Do you feel a little regretful after coming back? Do you think that life on the Tianxian continent is more suitable for you? At this time, no matter what the little dragon said, Lin Rei was walking without making a sound. The little dragon even tirelessly muttered in Lin Rei's ear. I know that you are worried about your mother, but you don't know where she is right now. Besides, it's not like you can't find her. Don't be upset if I say too much. There are tens of thousands of disciples in the Cloud Pagoda at your disposal. As long as you let them out, I don't believe that they can't even find a person in this small place. Seeing that Lin Rei was still not making a sound, the little dragon became anxious. It had never seen Lin Rei act like this. Even when he encountered an earth immortal, he fought with all his might. But now, the little dragon really didn't want to see him like this. That's enough. That's enough, Lin Rei. Don't think that just because you are depressed, I am depressed. I originally thought that by following a master, I would be able to cultivate very quickly and then one day I would be able to materialize. But look at you now. How can you make me materialize in the future? How can I have the confidence to continue playing with you like this? At this moment, seeing that Lin Rei was still not making a sound, the little dragon became anxious and jumped out of the system. Now, in the air in front of Lin Rei, there was an angry face, but its chubby face looked especially cute. That's enough. We have been on the road. Can't you give me some peace and quiet? I know you are worried about me, but I just want some peace and quiet. At noon, after the little dragon in the system ran out, Lin Rei's eyes had a luster as he looked at the little dragon in front of him and said in his mind. He couldn't speak to the air in public. Everyone thought he was something. F***ck, you bastard, can you do it? I finally came out for a walk and saw you like this. Tell me, how can I not be anxious? Hearing Lin Rei's words, the little dragon's face showed a happy smile, but it immediately changed. It fiercely complained to Lin Rei. Oh, okay. You're awesome, okay? Aren't you willing to wear it outside? Then take it with you. But first, don't disturb me. After speaking, Lin Rei returned to his previous state and did not say another word. Behind him, the little dragon's eyes were filled with worry as it sighed in its heart. Sigh. No matter what, he is just a child. There is no one to talk to about the depression in his heart. He can only bear it himself. Sigh. Just like that, the little dragon kept following behind. It was not that he was worried about Lin Rei, but he was too worried about Lin Rei. Although the two of them were not good at expressing themselves verbally, they were very clear in their hearts. Unknowingly, Lin Rei came to the most prosperous place in Beijing. Here, everything was sold. At this time, Lin Rei woke up from his silence. F***ck, where am I? When Lin Rei woke up, he looked at the bustling place in front of him and was stunned for a moment. Humph, you still have the nerve to say that. Didn't you want to calm down for a while? Didn't you walk and walk and walk until you came here? Let's see how you can calm down now. At this time, the little dragon, who had been following behind, saw Lin Rei's expression at this time and was very happy. What's wrong, isn't it just here? Anyway, there was plenty of time just now. With that, Lin Rei walked towards the scene. It was already noon. Although Lin Rei had already abstained from eating, Lin Rei still could not resist the temptation of delicious food. Walking in the downtown area, looking at the pedestrians coming and going, and looking at the various snacks sold around, Lin Rei turned back and said to the little dragon. In a while, I'll let you watch me eat. I'll let you annoy me all the way. F***ck, you can't be serious. You're holding a grudge already? When it heard Lin Rei's words, the little dragon's eyes flashed with a trace of sadness, but it recovered quickly and said to Lin Rei at this time. Humph, it's good that you know. But don't worry, in order to let you experience real life as soon as possible, I will cultivate as soon as possible. One sentence, because of Lin Rei's sentence, directly made the system's little dragon cry. What are you doing? Why are you saying this for no reason? After saying that, the little dragon instantly disappeared in front of Lin Rei and entered the system. F***ck, it can't be. I didn't say anything, and I can't do it just like that? Seeing the little dragon's actions, Lin Rei smiled slightly and went to another snack shop. Boss, give me a few skewers and 5 bottles of beer. 2 kidneys, all set. Oh, okay, please wait a moment, it'll be ready soon. After sitting down, Lin Rei directly shouted to the busy boss, and the boss turned his head. After hearing Lin Rei's request, he nodded and agreed, and asked his daughter to bring 5 bottles of beer to Lin Rei's table. Hello, these are your 5 bottles of beer, and these are our complimentary cold dishes, please enjoy. After seeing his beer, Lin Rei didn't look at the girl, but directly opened the bottle with his hand and drank directly. He didn't even use the cup that was sent over, and as for the dishes on the table, he didn't even touch them. Dad, that person is really strange. Look at his white hair, plus the way he drank, he's obviously not a good person. Cough, cough, cough. At this time, Lin Rei, who was drinking beer, heard this sentence and coughed. His whole face was red from coughing. And now the girl next to Lin Rei, after hearing Lin Rei's coughing, couldn't help but turn around and look at Lin Rei. Her eyes were full of disgust, which made Lin Rei depressed. F***ck, what the F***ck did I do to you? We don't know each other either. And, what does my white hair have to do with you? Of course, this sentence was only in his heart. Don't say it, he dyed his hair white, that's his, we can't control it, but you can't talk nonsense in the future, what if he hears it? At this time, the boss who was grilling skewers, heard his daughter's words and quickly reprimanded her. Okay, I know, father, you do your work first, they're here, I'll go do it first. As soon as she saw her father's appearance, the girl quickly changed the topic and hurriedly came again. Sigh. This child. What should I do in the future? The conversation between the father and daughter fell into Lin Rei's ears word by word. This was not what Lin Rei wanted to hear, but because Lin Rei's cultivation was too strong, even if he didn't have Lin Rei's cultivation, as long as he broke through the foundation establishment stage, his body's functions would increase exponentially. Oh, this father and daughter are really interesting. Lin Rei didn't care about the father and daughter's words, and finally laughed it off. The skewers were quickly brought to the table, and Lin Rei's beer was finished before the skewers were served. Boss, another box of beer. Lin Rei's words directly attracted the attention of everyone present, and everyone looked at Lin Rei with shocked eyes. Lin Rei didn't care about these people's gazes at all, and the boss's daughter, after hearing Lin Rei's words, quickly went to get a box of beer and put it on Lin Rei's seat, but at this time, the girl was full of smiles, very different from before. Sigh. It seems that it's not so easy to get drunk. At this time, seeing the box of beer beside him, Lin Rei sighed slightly, then tore open the box, cursed the wine, and drank again. For a middle stage of the crossing calamity stage, this amount of alcohol couldn't make him drunk, even if it was a car of beer. It was impossible, unless there was wine on the mysterious sky continent, otherwise, it was impossible. Time passed by little, and at noon, it was officially hot, and everyone's back was sweating, but they surrounded Lin Rei himself. Boss, another box of beer. At this time, under Lin Rei's feet, there were already countless bottles of beer. At this moment, Lin Rei's words had become numb in everyone's ears, and even the girl who bought the beer was tired. Sorry, there's no more today, you can come again another day. Oh. Hearing this sentence, Lin Rei looked at the place where the beer was placed, puzzled, and there was a tall pile of beer there. Beauty, you can't be serious. I'm drinking because your family makes money, okay? Hurry up and give me the beer, don't dawdle, I have money. Hearing the girl's words, Lin Rei thought that she was afraid that he wouldn't pay, so he directly took out 50 yuan from his pocket, and put it directly on the table. Humph, even if you have money, you won't give me the beer. You've drunk enough, plus the beer you just drank, it's already 5 boxes, so you'd better pay the bill and leave. Saying this, the girl directly picked up the banknotes on the table, then took out a few of them, and put them on the table untouched. Well, your table has been paid, take care. After saying this, the girl didn't even look at Lin Rei, then left and went back to her father who was grilling skewers. Damn, no way. There's such a restaurant? At this time, Lin Rei, who came back to his senses, was suddenly dumbfounded. Forget it, if I can't drink here, I'll go somewhere else to drink. Lin Rei didn't say much, directly stood up and left the restaurant. Behind, the girl's father, after seeing Lin Rei leave, hurriedly asked his daughter. What's going on, Yao Yao, why did that customer leave, didn't he ask for a box of beer? Hearing her father's words, the girl came back to her senses and stared at her honest father. For a moment, she didn't know what to say. Father, he said he didn't want to drink, then he paid the bill and left. This was Lin Rei's first time here. In the past, he had thought about it, but because of the lack of money, he never came. As soon as he entered the dream bar, he heard heavy metal music. The sound was very deafening. Slowly, Lin Rei walked in. At a glance, all of them were in pairs or in groups, except for herself who had just walked in. Listening to the heavy metal music, he came to the bar counter. Without hesitation, he took out a stack of cash and placed it on the bar counter. He said to the waiter, "Bring all of your high alcohol content wine here immediately. This is the money. If it's not enough, we'll talk about it." "Okay, sir. Please wait a moment. I'll get it for you now. I just don't know what wine you want to drink. Red wine, white wine, or..." At this time, the waiter saw Lin Rei's appearance and despised him. However, when he saw the front and back of the table, the waiter smiled and came forward to ask. "No matter what wine it is, as long as it has a high alcohol content, no matter if it's red wine or white wine, bring it to me." "Okay, please wait a moment." With that, the waiter walked inside. After a while, more than 10 bottles of red wine, white wine, and even white wine were brought to Lin Rei. "Sir, this is the wine with the highest alcohol content in this shop. However, are you sure you want to drink them? Or do you have other people with you?" At this time, the waiter showed a look of hesitation. Although Lin Rei had nothing to do with him, he couldn't watch him get into trouble in his own shop. "Don't worry. This wine is not enough to make me drunk. Find me a place, but don't let anyone disturb me." Hearing Lin Li's words, the waiter nodded in agreement. However, after hearing Lin Li's words, the waiter felt even more disdain in his heart. "What do you mean you can't get drunk? Even AF** King Cow can get drunk. You should at least have some tolerance for acting tough." Although the waiter thought so, he still had a smile on his face. He took a few bottles of wine and came to a place that could seat more than 10 people. He put the wine on the table and left. Before leaving, he specially said to Lin Rei, "Sir, if you feel uncomfortable, call me at any time." "Okay, I know. You can go now. Here, this is for your consumption." When he came to the seat, Lin Rei sat down. But when he heard the waiter's words, Lin Rei smiled and then took out a few Red Bull from his pocket and gave it to the waiter, asking him to leave. "Oh, look at the strong wine here. The wine in Tianxian is still better." After saying that, Lin Rei took advantage of the fact that the others were not resting. He put one hand under the table and then took out a jar of carved wine from his storage ring. As the saying goes, a deep relationship is stifled. Although there was no one next to Lin Rei at this time, he was more vigorous than others. He directly took a bottle of unknown red wine and opened it. Gulp. Gulp. The sound was very loud, but it was close to the heavy metal music, so no one could hear it. Unless someone saw where Lin Rei was, otherwise, no one would know what Lin Rei was doing. However, there was one person who had been watching Lin Rei. That was the waiter. He was afraid that Lin Rei would have a problem, so he kept watching. In the end, he saw this scene. F***ck, is he still a human? Is red wine supposed to be drunk like that? Even if it's not red wine, white wine is not supposed to be drunk like that. At this time, the waiter thought that he had seen wrongly. He rubbed his eyes hard with both hands, and finally, he felt the pain. When he saw Lin Rei again, this time, Lin Rei was not holding a bottle of red wine, but whiskey. This was a very high alcohol content wine. Ordinary people could only drink it bit by bit, but not like Lin Rei who drank it directly like drinking plain water. This brother is unique in the world. If anyone can drink more than him, I will kneel on the ground and call him father. After seeing Lin Rei's appearance again, the waiter knew that his worries were superfluous. At this time, Lin Rei was not alone in his seat. Just when Lin Rei finished drinking the red wine, the system's little dragon came out and had been watching Lin Rei drink. After knowing that the wine bottle was put down, the little dragon asked puzzledly. "Lin Rei, do you think you can get drunk like this? You are a cultivator in the middle stage of the crossing calamity realm. You have to know that with your cultivation, unless you seal your own cultivation, you can't get drunk like this." "Oh?" Lin Rei heard the little dragon's words, and his heart moved slightly. For a moment, he had this idea. "You mean, as long as I have my own wind cultivation, I can get drunk? But in that case, what if I encounter danger? Damn, with your body, let alone a golden core or nascent soul realm cultivator, even a combination realm cultivator can't break through your defense. Do you think that in this space, you can meet such a high-level cultivator for no reason? And do you think they will beat a drunk person like you who has no cultivation for no reason?" "Yes." Hearing the little dragon's words, Lin Rei's desire to seal his drunkenness became even stronger. "However, I'm telling you, you're only allowed to get drunk once. There's no next time. You have more important things to do. Your mother hasn't been found yet, and your cultivation hasn't reached a certain level yet. Therefore, this is the first and last time, understand?" At this time, the little dragon's expression was serious, and he said to Lin Rei meticulously, with a commanding look in his eyes. I know, don't worry. I won't do it again in the future. Just this once, just this once. In the past few years, other than the few years on the island where I lived a happy and relaxed life, the rest of the time, I was in a tense state overseas. I lived every day for survival, afraid that I would die without a burial place if I wasn't careful. The past few years have been too tiring. After getting drunk this time, I believe that there won't be a next time. In the future, I will enter a tense state again. In this space, it is far from as simple as I thought. Although the surface is very calm, I can feel that there are many undercurrents surging. With that, Lin Rei directly pressed a seal into his dantian. In an instant, Lin Rei felt that his spiritual power was completely cut off at this moment. Unless the seal was broken again, he would never be able to sense the existence of spiritual power. Of course, without the condition of a strong physical body, he would say that 6 ordinary people were no different. Well, I've told you the method. Take it easy. Also, remember what you said. After today, you have to cultivate well. Moreover, you don't have much time in this space. Finish the things you want to finish as soon as possible. You are very thin and restrained here, so hurry up. After speaking, the little dragon disappeared in front of Lin Rei and returned to the system. Heh, if that's the case, then let's get completely drunk. Let me feel what it's like to be drunk as a cultivator. With that, he tried his best to pick up a bottle of red wine and drank it. However, the taste and feeling at this time were completely different from when he had cultivation. It seems that it is really effective. At least, I can feel that the alcohol is no longer diluted by spiritual power. Chapter 202. After 3 rounds of drinking, Lin Rei's consciousness began to blur, but he was not drunk yet. The wine on the table had been finished by Lin Rei, leaving only a pile of empty bottles lying on the table. Of course, this included the carved flower wine that Lin Rei took out from his storage ring. Time also passed as Lin Rei drank. Quietly, in the blink of an eye, he realized that it was afternoon. The sky outside gradually darkened, and the originally sunny day suddenly became a little bit cooler. Gradually, the street lights lit up, and the bustling city life began from now on. At this time, at the door of Dream Bar, a group of girls in their late teens pushed open the door and walked in. With a smile on their faces, they were talking and laughing, and a few of them even began to play with each other. If Lin Rei saw them, he would definitely recognize them. Among them, there was the girl who refused to sell him wine. At this time, her eyes were filled with worry, looking left and right. At a glance, he knew that this must be her first time here. A group of girls, 4 or 5 people, came to the bar counter, sat down, and said to the waiter who was mixing the wine, "Waiter, give me 5 glasses of ice and fire." "Xiao, didn't we agree to come here just to have a look? We didn't say that we would drink. My dad won't let me drink." At this time, Yao, who was now in the crowd, saw her good friend and ordered the wine. For a moment, she panicked. Yao, what's wrong with drinking a glass? Besides, if you don't drink now, you must drink in the future. In the future, when you enter the company, you will inevitably have to drink for the boss. So, what you do now is just to prepare for the future. The girl named Xiao, seeing her good friend's appearance, for a moment, her face was full of smiles and said, Okay. But you can only drink 1 glass, no more." In the end, Yao, compromised. She looked at her friends. They had all grown up together. Although 1 or 2 of them were rich, they had never looked down on her. So, for the sake of her good friends, Yao, compromised. Is that right? Seeing Yao, agree, Xiao secretly heaved a sigh of relief, as if she was afraid that Yao, wouldn't drink. As for the waiter, he followed the orders of the customers and served 5 cups of ice and fire. The wine in the cup was very beautiful. One side was blue, and the other side was red. It really looked like the concept of ice and fire. Beauties, this is your ice and fire. However, this is too intense. Therefore, when you drink, you should eat something. Otherwise, it's very easy to get drunk. When the waiter at the bar saw that it was a few beauties, he immediately smiled and warned them. "Oh, we got it. Thank you." Hearing the waiter's words, the girls smiled. Then, they carried their drinks to a place that could seat 5 people and looked around. "Waiter, bring me some more wine. I'm almost done." Suddenly, after they sat down, a very loud voice sounded. Even the heavy metal music couldn't cover the speaker's voice. F***ck, it can't be. More than 10 bottles, and they were all the strongest wine. At this moment, the waiter was dumbfounded. When the girls sitting on the sofa heard the voice, they all turned in unison to look in the direction of the person who spoke. It can't be. You can even see him here. At this moment, Yao was stunned when she saw that the person who spoke was the customer who was chased away under the blanket. Why, Yao, do you know him? After hearing her good friend's words, Xiao, who was next to her, had a strange expression on her face and asked doubtfully. Well, he's not a person. It's just that at noon, he was drinking at my house. However, you might not know this, but he can drink a lot. After drinking 5 boxes of beer at noon, he still wanted to drink more, but in the end, he was chased away. However, it seems that he has been here for a long time. After hearing the story, everyone's eyes were filled with shock. Because after hearing Yao's words and seeing the bottles on the table, they knew that he could drink quite a lot. Waiter, hurry up and bring me the wine. Why, are you afraid that I won't pay? At this moment, the waiter, who was in a daze, heard Lin Rei's words again and immediately came back to his senses. He quickly replied, Hey, okay, it'll be here right away. The sober waiter didn't stop at all. He directly took out more than 10 bottles of wine from the wine cabinet at the back and walked over to Lin Rei with a smile. Brother, this is your wine, but I still have to advise you to drink less wine. Okay, I got it. Why don't you sit down and have a few drinks? It's my treat. At this moment, his eyes were fixed on the table and the newly brought wine. After hearing the waiter's words, Lin Rei invited him to sit down and have a drink with him, but he was rejected. Forget it. Your alcohol tolerance isn't something that I can compare to. Just 2 glasses and I'll pass out. If there's nothing else, I'll go back to work. After saying that, the waiter hurriedly said goodbye to Lin Rei and fled. Yes, fled. The moment he heard Lin Rei's words, he had the intention to leave immediately. After seeing the waiter leave, Lin Rei directly picked up the wine on the table and drank again. Damn, this person is really awesome. I gave you this in the past. At that time, I only took a sip and directly fainted. This person can actually drink directly from the bottle. I'm impressed. At this moment, the girl named Xiao, who had been paying attention to Linley, said with a face full of admiration after seeing Linley's appearance. Let's go and have a look. I think this person is quite interesting. After saying that, while everyone was still in a daze, the girl had already arrived in front of Lin Rei. Handsome, do you mind if I sit down and have a drink with you? At this moment, the girl was full of charm as she spoke to Lin Rei. Her voice was very coquettish, so coquettish that once you heard her voice, you would have a reaction that a man should have. You are? Lin Rei, who was originally drinking enthusiastically, removed the wine bottle from his mouth when he heard the voice. His eyes were filled with doubt as he asked the girl. Oh, I forgot to introduce myself. I'm Ouyang Xiao, and these are my classmates. After hearing Lin Rei's question, the girl directly said her name and pointed to the 4 girls in the distance who were looking at them. Oh, okay. Then you guys go ahead. After saying that, Lin Rei didn't look at her again. Instead, he directly picked up the wine bottle and drank. However, this time, Lin Rei didn't drink as fiercely as before. The 4 girls in the distance came to Lin Rei's seat under Ouyang Xiao's beckoning. Handsome, how should I address you? When everyone was present, Ouyang Xiao smiled and asked Lin Rei. On the other hand, Yao, who was at a place where no one could see, stretched out her hand and tugged at Ouyang Xiao's clothes. She couldn't help but cast a glance at Ouyang Xiao, hinting that she shouldn't casually ask for people's names. Lin Ray, if you want a drink, open the bottle yourselves. I have no interest in you, and don't try to understand me, because that will make you die miserably. Seeing the way they were acting, Linley didn't say a single nice word. He immediately wiped out any thoughts they had. Hearing this sentence, all the girls were stunned. Without saying a word, they directly took a bottle of wine, opened their mouths, and drank some. Seeing this scene, Lin Ray didn't say anything. He just drank by himself. Time passed little by little. In the end, Lin Ray drank until he was unconscious. A soft groan came from a bed in a hotel room. At this time, a man woke up with a splitting headache. He rubbed his head that was about to split open. What's going on? Wasn't I drinking? Where am I? At this time, the man's mind was full of questions. He opened his eyes and looked around. In the end, he found that he was in a hotel room. This man was Lin Ray, who was drinking in the bar earlier. At this time, Lin Ray didn't know what happened, but he inexplicably came to a hotel room. Why do I feel like there's someone on the bed? At this time, Lin Ray didn't understand. Finally, when he wanted to get up, he suddenly felt a breathing sound from the other side of the bed. Suddenly, Lin Ray's mind flashed with a bad feeling. Slowly, with one hand, Linley pulled the blanket aside. A completely naked girl was lying there. Perhaps because she was tired, after Linley's actions, she didn't wake up. Instead, she unconsciously stretched out her hand and tugged at the blanket a little. Chapter 203. You. Why are you here? At this moment, the girl really wanted to find a place to hide and not see anyone. I'm sorry, I don't know what happened. We both drank too much. Lin Ray's heart was filled with guilt. Every time he thought of the red spot he saw, the guilt in Lin Ray's heart intensified. Woo. At this moment, Yao felt pain coming from her lower body. For a moment, her mind went blank. She couldn't do anything now. The only thing she could do was cry. How? How could this happen? How could this be? How could it be? Things shouldn't be like this. At this moment, Yao cried and asked herself in her heart. Until now, she still couldn't believe that what happened was real. Looking around the room with blurry eyes, Yao felt terrible. She couldn't imagine that one day, something that could only happen on TV would happen to her. Sigh. I'm sorry. Tell me. Whatever compensation you want, I can promise you. No matter if it's money, status, or power, as long as you want it, even if it's to go to the ninth heaven to capture the moon, or to go to the 4 seas to catch turtles, or to become the most powerful person in Yanjing, I can help you achieve it. At this moment, Lin Ray's heart was filled with guilt. He told Yao all his requests, but he didn't say that he would be responsible for her. Boo-hoo. No matter what, Linley asked for all the things that everyone was interested in, but Yao didn't seem to hear him at all. She just continued to cry. As for Linley, he just sat there, using the blanket to cover his lower body. His upper body was bare, and he stared at her with a guilty look in his eyes. Time passed little by little. After an unknown amount of time, Yao finally stopped crying, as if she was tired of crying or had run out of tears. However, her next action startled Lin Ray. Yao who had stopped crying, didn't seem to be facing Lin Ray. She lifted the quilt directly, and her naked body appeared in front of Lin Ray's eyes. Her actions were very domineering. She did not look like she was crying a moment ago. Lin Ray, I think it's necessary for you to let the people of the dark department follow her. I think this girl has matured because of you. Not only that, I can vaguely see the seeds of world weariness. Such a person is likely to walk on a path of no return in the future. Just as Lin Rei was about to turn around, the little dragon walked out of the central office and spoke to Lin Rei sternly. At this moment, Lin Rei's gaze froze on the spot when he heard the little dragon's words. His gaze landed on the spot where Yao was putting on her clothes. World weariness? It can't be. Could it be that you're mistaken? Lin Rei didn't believe that such a delicate and weak woman would hate the world because of this matter. Humph, you don't have to believe me. My vision can't be wrong. I feel that her heart has completely collapsed, and her current actions are enough to prove everything. Lin Rei found it hard to believe the little dragon's words before they were confirmed. But the little dragon was a know-it-all, so Lin Rei had to be on guard. His consciousness entered the Cloud Pagoda and personally selected a member of the Dark Department. Then, he made the Dark Department member cast an invisibility spell and appear at the entrance of the hotel. He couldn't let the Dark Department member appear in the room and see Yao's naked appearance, right? In an instant, Lin Rei accomplished many things. At this moment, the Dark Department member had already received Lin Rei's order. He handed Yao's portrait to the Dark Department member so that he could recognize it. Then, he followed closely behind and reported everything, no matter if it was a big or small matter. He also ordered the Dark Department member to follow closely and protect her. Anyone who tried to harm her was to be eliminated as soon as possible. Okay, let's pretend this matter never happened. We're all adults, so we have to be responsible for our own actions. This matter ends here. From now on, our families don't owe each other anything. Don't look for me in the future, and I won't look for you either. While Lin Rei was in a daze, Yao's voice entered Lin Rei's ears. Her voice was bone-chilling, completely lacking the gentle feeling from before. Henceforth, Lin Rei believed the little dragon's words. Yao already had the seed of world weariness. This kind of thing had to be eliminated as soon as possible. Wait. I have something to say. At this moment, Lin Rei decided that he had to eliminate the seed of world weariness now. Otherwise, this girl's life would be ruined under the blanket. I know that you hate me now, because of what I did to you last night. However, I also said that as long as you say it, I will definitely do it. So, right now, immediately, tell me that you want to leave. I can agree to any conditions. Yao originally wanted to leave quickly, but when she heard Lin Rei's words, her hatred, which was already on the verge of exploding, completely exploded. Yao's face was incomparably ferocious. The hatred in her eyes was the most terrifying thing that Lin Rei had ever seen since he started cultivating. It wasn't because of her strength, but because of her terrifying hatred. Lin Rei's heart couldn't help but tremble. This kind of feeling was extremely shocking. So what? Did I say it? This girl already has the seed of world weariness. Seeing this scene, the little dragon sat in the air and looked at Lin Rei with a smile on his face. It was as if he was saying, "Am I right? That's what you meant when you questioned my words just now. *CK, hurry up and get lost. Don't bother me here. What exactly is going on? When we get back, I'll settle the score with you." With that, Lin Rei came back to his senses. After sensing Lin Rei, Jean Ling, who had been waiting at the door, revealed a look of surprise. In an instant, she used her cultivation and directly flashed in front of Lin Rei. In an instant, she hung on Lin Rei's body and looked at him intimately. Her face was full of smiles. "I'm sorry. I didn't come back last night and caused you to go crazy here for the whole night. Aren't you tired?" At this moment, Lin Rei came back to his senses. The tears in his eyes were diluted by Lin Rei. His eyes were filled with heartache. Looking at his own days, his face revealed an expression of heartache. It's okay. It's not like I haven't waited before. Besides, I'm willing to wait for you. I'm willing to wait. Even if I have to wait forever, I'm willing. Although my cultivation isn't as high as yours and my lifespan isn't as long as yours, I'm willing to wait until my lifespan ends. One sentence from Jean Ling, directly caused Lin Rei, who had never cried much, to shed tears of happiness at this moment. He was crying now. With a wife like this, what else could a husband ask for? Alright, in the future, don't be like this again. Although you have a cultivation base, I will still feel sorry for you. However, before that, I have to find you and tell you something. If I don't tell you about this, I will always feel sorry for you. At this moment, seeing Jean Ling's appearance, Lin Li decided to tell her what happened last night. She wanted to tell her everything. Chapter 204. What's the matter? Seeing how serious you are, I'm a little scared. At this moment, Jean Ling, who was hanging on Lin Rei's body, heard her husband's words and quickly got down from his body, then asked curiously. Let's go. Let's go in and talk. I don't know what's going on either. Anyway, I can't explain this matter clearly. I can only tell you the general situation. With that, Lin Rei directly carried Jean Ling up in a princess carry and then walked towards the room. The relationship between the sect master's husband and the sect master is really good. At this moment, the 100 assassins hiding in the dark, after seeing Lin Rei's scene, all of them had smiles on their faces. They were very happy for them in their hearts. That's right. Our sect master is a famous good man. You don't know. According to internal information, during the 6 years that the sect master has been missing, the sect master has been cooking for the mistress. However, don't say all these words. I also heard this from others. I don't know if it's accurate or not. At this moment, Lin Rei didn't know that his own matters had become the topic of conversation for his subordinates after dinner. Lin Rei, who had returned to the room, placed Jean Ling on the bed. With a guilty expression, he told her what had happened the day before and the night before. Half an hour later, after Lin Rei had finished everything, he carefully raised his head and looked at Jean Ling, who was sitting on the bed. However, after seeing Jean Ling's expression again, Lin Rei was stunned. Because, he didn't see what he was thinking at all. Instead, he looked at him with a smile. Seeing this scene, Lin Rei felt even more guilty. Ling, I don't know how this happened, but don't worry, I won't do it again in the future. With you and Bing, I have no more desires in this life. At this moment, Lin Rei took the initiative to express his attitude, and then sat down next to Jean Ling with a smile. Hubby, I don't think we can just let this matter go. Suddenly, Lin Rei, who had just sat on the bed, heard Jean Ling's words, and his first reaction was to stand up and look at her worriedly. He didn't know what she was thinking. Aya, what are you afraid of? Lin Rei was dumbfounded. He was completely dumbfounded. He did not expect Jean Ling to say this, nor did he expect Jean Ling to be so magnanimous. Although Lin Rei knew that Jean Ling would agree to whatever he decided, Lin Rei was really not sure about this. What happened? Seeing her husband's surprised and puzzled look, Jean Ling asked in confusion. No, let's just leave this matter as it is. Since it was a mistake, why bother to correct it? Whatever he wants, I can satisfy him, but this is the only thing I won't do. With these words, Jean Ling's face revealed a happy smile. Before Lin Rei could finish speaking, Jean Ling's lips were pressed on Lin Rei's mouth. Suddenly, the heat of the bath soared, and a spring scene played out in the room. Moans came out of the room. At this moment, Lin Ro, who happened to pass by Lin Rei's door, heard this sound. Her face instantly turned red, and her heart was in a panic. She left the place in an instant. Lin Rei, who was busy, did not know that there was such an episode in the middle. Time passed. 2 hours later, the storm-like entanglement in the room finally ended. "Hubby, since you don't want to marry her, then you have to find a way to make up for it. After all, she gave you her first time, and she even let go of the seed of world weariness." At this moment, Jean Ling, who was lying on Lin Rei's body, raised her head and looked at the smiling Lin Rei. "Yes, I know about this. I've already sent the dark department to follow closely. As long as anything happens to that girl, he will get rid of all obstacles." After saying that, Lin Rei closed his eyes and fell asleep. Too many things had happened in the past 2 days. It was much more tiring than when he was in Tianxian. Jean Ling originally wanted to get up, but Lin Rei's arm strength was too strong. Even if there was always Jean Ling, who was at the nascent soul stage, she couldn't break it open. Moreover, she didn't want to disturb Lin Rei, so just like that, the two of them stayed together. The alternation of day and night was an eternal and unchanging rule. Originally, the morning wind was cool and penetrating, but as time passed, the wind blew over and the chill hit. The sky outside had endured until it was dark. At this moment, the lights in the villa were turned on and it was incomparably bright. In the room, Lin Rei also woke up from his sleep. After feeling the person on his body, Lin Rei only held her in his arms and didn't want to separate. Alright, hurry up and get up. You've been sleeping for a whole day, and I haven't gotten up yet. What would my younger brother and sister think if they saw this?" Feeling the strength from Lin Rei's arm strength, Jean Ling knew that Lin Rei had woken up, so she quickly broke free from Lin Rei's restraints and began to put on her clothes. All right. However, from tomorrow onwards, I will start to make my arrangements. I can't stay here forever. It's time for me to take action. The life here is no longer suitable for me. After the matters here are over, we can go back to the days when we are on the edge of life and death." At this moment, looking at Jean Ling who had her back facing him, he spoke out his thoughts. After leaving other cultivation planets, Lin Rei's face revealed a yearning expression. It's time for you to start. I haven't seen Mother since I came here." Hearing Lin Rei's words, Jean Ling also nodded in agreement and agreed. Don't worry. Soon, you will be able to see her. This time, I'm afraid the major families in Beijing will be reshuffled. Remember, without the organization's permission, do not act rashly. This matter is not something you can handle. After speaking, Xianjing directly hung up the phone and brought a group of people to Wei Yuan's location. Damn, it can't be. He hung up just like that? At this moment, Wei Yuan, who originally thought that he would receive some rewards, revealed an unhappy expression after the phone was hung up. However, he did not dare to disobey the order and directly sent his location over. Not long after, Xianjing brought a group of people to where Wei Yuan was. "Wei Yuan, where is the murderous aura?" As soon as Xianjing came up, he directly asked Wei Yuan with a serious expression and an unquestionable tone. It's in Tianwan Garden, and the specific location should be there." As he spoke, Wei Yuan directly brought Xianjing to Tianwan Garden and pointed at the villa where Lin Rei lived. "Are you sure?" Xianjing asked with uncertainty. He was China's most mysterious soldier and he did not want to make such a mistake. "Yes, I'm sure." At that time, the murderous aura was extremely strong. Under the influence of the murderous aura, the surrounding area became dispirited and listless. In the end, we followed it to this place. At this moment, Wei Yuan had already bet his life. In the end, he was sure that it was here. The murderous aura that was emitted? Okay, if that's the case, everyone, when we enter later, do not be rash. Before we know whether they are friend or foe, do not anger them. We don't know their strength, but we do know that they are extremely strong. Chapter 205. How is this possible? How can it be a woman? Xianjing, who was kneeling on the ground, was very unwilling. However, he had no way to stand up and refute. He could only secretly worry in his heart. Senior, we didn't mean to come here. It's just that a huge power suddenly appeared in our eyes, so, Xianjing didn't continue. He believed that even if he didn't say anything, she would understand. However, the things that she knew in the academy, the one who truly knew was not Jin Ling but Lin Rei. How would Jin Ling know about those things? Using his divine sense to sense the people of the dragon group outside, Lin Rei revealed a smile. He then secretly transmitted his message to Jin Ling, telling her to pass on his message. You guys can leave. This place isn't for you guys to come. Here, there is no existence that threatens the country. You don't have to worry about us harming the country. However, you guys came here today and trespassed into my house. I will remember this debt. You guys can leave. Senior, we didn't mean to come here. Please forgive us and let us fart. At this moment, when he heard Jin Ling say that there was no threat to the country, Xuanjing's worried heart relaxed. However, when he heard the second half of the sentence, Xianjing only wanted to cry. He had a stomach full of grievances and had nowhere to vent. Okay, this matter will end here. Remember what I said just now. If anyone from the Dragon Group comes here again, don't blame me. Not to mention the Dragon Group, even if all the cultivators in China were to come together, I would be able to destroy them in an instant. Of course, you guys can choose not to believe me. Everything I say depends on you guys. So, you guys have to be careful. Don't try to challenge my bottom line. After saying this, Lin Rei's middle stage crossing calamity cultivation pressure instantly rushed out of the villa and rolled over the people of the Dragon Group. Boom! Everyone, upon sensing Lin Li's aura of power, couldn't bear it any longer and collapsed to the ground, their faces intimately touching the ground. This kind of cultivation, I'm afraid only the Kunlun Sect master has this kind of cultivation. Who is this woman? Why does she have such a cultivation? At this moment, when Xianjing felt this pressure, he was extremely shocked. His eyes were filled with disbelief and his heart was shocked beyond compare. He had only felt this kind of cultivation pressure from the Kunlun sect leader a few years ago during the cultivators' gathering. He never thought that after so many years, when he felt it again, it would be from a woman. Remember what I said. Take your people and leave quickly. There is no one here that you can deal with. It's best if you don't try to invite those with high cultivation because they are all trash in my eyes. After saying that, Jin Ling turned around and walked in. Of course, this was also what Lin Rei said. Outside, Xianjing and the others, who were lying on the ground, quickly stood up when they felt the pressure disappear. Then, they faced Lin Rei's villa and bowed. Many thanks to Senior for not killing us. We, the members of the Dragon Group, will remember this in our hearts. Then, if there's nothing else, we will take our leave first. After saying that, he paused for a while. Then, without hearing any sound, Xianjing brought his remaining subordinates and left. When he left, he couldn't help but look at the villa's courtyard. Brothers, I'm sorry for not being able to stop you in time. Don't worry. I will help you take care of your families. Brothers. Have a good trip. Looking at the place where his brothers died, Xianjing couldn't help but sigh in his heart. His eyes also became moist. They're all gone. This place has returned to its peaceful state. After sending them off with his divine sense, Lin Rei sighed and the smile on his face disappeared. And, they're gone. However, these people don't seem to be bad people. At this moment, seeing her husband's appearance, Jean Ling's heart ached. However, when she thought about the dozen people that were killed by them, Jean Ling couldn't help but ask curiously. That's right, they aren't bad people. They are all the protectors of China. It is because of them that this country can live so peacefully. As he spoke, the guilt on Lin Rei's face became even more intense. His eyes couldn't help but become moist. Although they had nothing to do with Lin Rei, they were still his compatriots. They were the mysterious organization of China and they were the descendants of heroes who died on the battlefield in order to live a peaceful life. Okay, at most, if China has any problems in the future, just help. If you don't understand, you can help China train a new batch of protectors. This way, you won't feel sorry for those who just died. Moreover, they were the ones who were rude first. That's right. After listening to his wife's words, Lin Rei suddenly felt enlightened. Then, he hugged Jean Ling and kissed his forehead. He smiled and said, "Yes, you're right. I want to help China train a batch of protectors. With them, China will be invaded by other countries." At this moment, Lin Rei's face was full of smiles. The guilt from before was swept away and disappeared without a trace. Okay, you go to sleep. I'll wait for my younger brother here. They should be back soon. Seeing that her husband was happy, she was also very happy. When she heard Lin Rei's words, Jean Ling left the living room obediently and went back to her room to sleep. Shanghai City. At this moment, in the presidential suite on the top floor of a 5-star hotel, the person who was sent by Lin Rei to find his younger brother was now in front of Dong Xiaonan, conveying Lin Rei's words. "Elder, the sect master said that he wants you to go back with me. He said that he has something important to discuss." He also asked the other dark department here to go back with him. Oh. At this moment, the young man was full of curiosity. He didn't understand. At the beginning, Lin Rei had left him here, but now, he wanted to go and meet him. This made Dong Xiaonan a little confused. "You mean, the sect master, I will go back with you, and the dark department here will also go back with you?" Dong Xiaonan asked again with uncertainty. Finally, after hearing the dark department's words, he believed it at noon. "Yes. The sect master said that the matter is very urgent and he wants you to set off immediately." With that, the dark department stood up and casually packed up. Then, he took the other dark department and used the fastest speed to teleport back to the villa. Damn, can you guys slow down a little? Teleporting here and there, I'm about to throw up. At this moment, Dong Xiaonan, who stopped at the entrance of the villa, had a pale face and trembling teeth. His eyes were full of complaints as he reprimanded the dark department who teleported with him. I'm sorry, Elder. We had no choice. Besides, as long as you wrap yourself with your own spiritual power, you won't have to suffer this." At this moment, one of the men from the dark team, who had been standing to the side, said that the young man wanted to kill them. Sure enough, after the man from the dark team finished speaking, Dong Xiaonan's hair stood on end. "Damn, you guys. Why didn't you say it just now? You're making me feel so uncomfortable now. Elder, we thought you knew." The dark department members responded to Dong Xiaonan's words with grievances in their fear. For a moment, Dong Xiaonan was even more angry. "I'm not in the combination realm. For the past few years, I've been stopping my cultivation at the peak of the spirit-severing realm because of the business. I was just a little bit away from breaking through to the combination realm. If you didn't tell me, how would I know? The dark department members had a guilty look on their faces and muttered, "We're sorry, Elder. This is our fault. We won't do it again in the future." "Humph, in the future. In 2 days, I'll break through quickly. By then, I'll be able to teleport myself." After saying that, Dong Xiaonan didn't say a word. Instead, she pushed the door open and walked in. Damn, Brother Lei lives in such a luxurious place. Dong Xiaonan walked in and looked at the artistic villa. It was so beautiful that she was envious. Gotcha. Just as Dong Xiaonan was about to open the door of the villa, the door opened and Lin Li walked out. "Ha ha ha, young man, you're finally here." As soon as he saw Dong Xiaonan again, Lin Li walked forward and hugged his little brother, his heart filled with excitement. "Damn, Brother Lei, can you let go of me first? It's easy for others to think that we're made of glass." At this moment, Dong Xiaonan, who was being hugged by Lin Rei, was also very excited. However, she didn't want to say something so emotional that Lin Rei was stunned. You're really..." Lin Rei wanted to say something, but he didn't say it in the end. Instead, he brought Dong Xiaonan into the villa. "Okay, young man, go and find a room later. When you've settled down, we'll talk about it. I'm going abroad for a few days. When I come back, I promise to give you something you'll never expect. I'll make sure you'll feel it." At this moment, Lin Rei, who was sitting on the sofa in the living room, said to the young man sitting opposite him with an excited expression on his face. "Oh? You're going abroad?" Hearing Lin Rei's words, Dong Xiaonan asked directly. She didn't ask for anything good, but where to go. "Yes, for a few days. At the latest, it'll be a few months. My younger siblings and Ling Er are at home. I'll go with you." Before Lin Rei finished his words, the young man's words stunned Lin Rei. "I also want to go out and have a look. I've been here for so many days, but I haven't had the chance to go out and have a look. I'm so bored every day." Hearing the young man's words, Lin Rei's face showed a guilty expression. He felt even more guilty in his heart. "Okay, since you want to go, let's go together." Chapter 206. After making the decision, Lin Rei didn't stay for long. He left a note on the table and flew out of the country with his brother. The two of them left the villa and immediately took out the Yi 10,000 Laws sword. They soared into the sky, and like a ray of light, they disappeared. As for Dong Xiaonan, she didn't want to be left behind. She also took out her flying sword, transforming into a ray of light and chasing after Lin Li. Before leaving, Lin Rei reminded the members of the dark group, "Remember, when I'm not here, you must protect a young lady, and young master. Do you understand? And Black Shadow, when he comes back, ask him to go to Yanjing University and follow the people who are following Lin Feng and Lin Ro. Before I come back, I have to know who is following me." When the members of the dark group heard the news, they couldn't help but feel happy. Although they had a difficult expression on their faces, their hearts were already blooming with joy. "Humph, this time, the leader of Black Shadow will be busy. Ha ha ha, he usually bullies us." This sentence didn't represent one person, but the voice of all the members of the dark group. After receiving the order, they all returned to their posts. Lin Rei and Dong Xiaonan also flew away on their flying swords. As the saying goes, some people are happy while others are sad. Lin Rei was very happy because everything was going according to the plan. On the other hand, Yao Er, who was slept with by Lin Rei, wasn't very optimistic. In the pitch-black night, Yao Er was walking alone on the streets. Her eyes were filled with tears, and she was sobbing with grievance. She was still wearing the same clothes. After leaving the hotel this morning, Yao Er didn't go home. It wasn't that she didn't want to go home. After all, which girl didn't want to go home to seek protection after being hurt? But she didn't dare to. After coming out in the morning, Yao Er, who originally wanted to go home, found that Lin Rui had left kiss marks all over his neck. Also, there were many women on his body. He didn't dare to go back, he was afraid that his father would see. She thought about how old her father was. If anything happened to him because of her, she would be a sinner for all eternity. She couldn't and didn't dare. She didn't even dare to look for her good friends. She was afraid that they would look down on her if they saw her like this. Therefore, after leaving the hotel, she had been wearing a hat and wandering around the streets. Until now, she had walked from the east end of Yanjing to the west end of the city. She had not eaten or even drunk a mouthful of water. At this moment, her vision started to blur and she felt dizzy. In her heart, she really wanted to find a place to lie down and have a good sleep. Sigh. What a stubborn girl. At this moment, the Dark Ops member who had been hiding in the dark and received Lin Rui's orders had been following her for the whole day. He had recorded her every move. The Dark Ops member sighed for Yao Er in his heart. His colleagues couldn't stand it anymore, but there was nothing they could do. After all, it was Lin Rui's orders. Forget it. Let's go buy some food for her. If she starves, I can't bear the consequences if the sect leader blames me. With that, the Dark Ops member took out a Red Bull from his pocket and went to a small convenience store to buy some food and drinks. Then, he walked out of the store and released his divine sense to search for Yao Er's current location. At this moment, in a dark alley, two extremely wretched men with lustful faces and lustful expressions were looking at the girl in front of them. They reeked of alcohol and were looking at her with their mouths slurred. Little girl, what are you doing here in the middle of the night? Don't tell me you're waiting here for us to come and dote on you. Ha ha ha. Ha ha ha, old young, you're right. Such a pretty girl, I have to go first. You were the one who did it last time. At this moment, the man next to him heard his friend's words and said with a displeased face. You. What do you want? Let me tell you, this is, at this moment, the girl's whole body trembled and tears flowed uncontrollably down her cheeks. This girl was none other than Yao Er, who had been wandering around outside, not daring to return home. Originally, she had wanted to find a place to settle down for the night after transferring. However, all of a sudden, she had met two middle-aged men who were drunk and lustful. They had chased Yao Er all the way to this alley. Why? Why is God doing this to me? What did I do wrong? At this moment, Yao Er's heart was filled with confusion and sadness. Her face was pale with fright. Hee, okay. You go first, okay? But you have to be quick. I don't want to be covered in your liquid when I'm doing it. At this moment, the two middle-aged men were in front of Yao Er, talking about how they were going to defile her. This scene made Yao Er, who was screaming for help, fall silent. At this moment, Yao Er's eyes were gray and lifeless. Her body was limp on the ground, as if she had already accepted her fate. Okay. Then I'll go first. You have to guard me. After saying that, the man came in front of Yao Er and pressed her to the ground, preparing to take off his clothes. When a man was fastest, that was when he was working and eating. Soon, the man took off his clothes and was about to take off Yao Er's clothes. But at this moment, a shadow appeared in front of the man and he stopped. He raised his head and looked at the person who came in front of him. At first glance, the man was shocked. It was a young man with long hair and wearing ancient clothes. He was looking at him with a murderous look. Boy, don't play tricks on me. If you know what's good for you, leave quickly. Otherwise, I'll kill you. Do you believe it? The naked middle-aged man snapped out of his daze and took out a knife from his clothes. He then pointed it at the man and said, "Don't worry. Humph, you have guts. How dare you touch the person my lord wants to protect? I think you don't want to live anymore." At this moment, the man dressed in ancient clothing was the Dark Ops member who was sent by Linley to protect Yao Er. He had just finished shopping when he spread out his divine sense and saw this scene. In an instant, the members of the Dark Ops rushed over. Fortunately, they made it in time. Otherwise, the consequences would be unimaginable. After the man from the dark group finished speaking, he raised his hand and formed a semicircle. Then, a strong suction force came out from his palm and directly sucked the naked middle-aged man over. He grabbed his neck. The other hand helped Yao Er, who was lying on the ground, and said gently, "Miss Yao Er, I don't know what to do with this man." At this moment, Yao Er also recovered from her shock. But when she heard the man from the dark group's question, she couldn't help but think about the lord she heard from the dark group. She was curious. "Excuse me, who are you? And, how do you know my name? And who is the lord you mentioned? Why is he protecting me?" Yao Er asked all the questions in her heart. The fear from before was swept away. At this moment, she just wanted to know who the lord was and why he wanted to protect her. Miss Yao Er, it's not that I don't want to tell you. The lord said that he only wants me to follow you and protect you. If there is anything you want, I have to try my best to satisfy you. Of course, if there is something you don't want and they have bad intentions or have bad intentions towards you, I will deal with them directly. At this moment, Yao Er's heart was filled with shock. She was shocked that this person who was about the same age as her, who was so gentle when talking to her, would suddenly become extremely cold when talking about the person who threatened her. Kacha, the man from the dark group, squeezed the middle-aged man's hand and the sound of bones breaking came from the man's neck. It directly scared Yao Er, who was beside him. Originally, Yao Er was just joking with the man from the dark group. She didn't expect that he would really dare to kill him. "Miss Yao Er, please wait here for a moment. I will be back soon." After throwing the lifeless middle-aged man to the side, he said to Yao Er with a smile on his face and came to the place where another middle-aged man was. Soon, the man from the dark group dragged a corpse into the alley. At this moment, when she thought of the smile the man from the dark group smiled at her, she felt that it wasn't a smile, but the Grim Reaper waving at her. Dong, after throwing the corpse to the side, the man came to Yao Er's side and said with a smile, "Miss Yao Er, it's been a day and you haven't eaten or drunk anything. Just now, I went to buy something for you and something like this happened. But don't worry, I want to assure you that something like this will never happen again." The man from the dark group took out the food he bought from the store and handed it to Yao Er. He had a solemn expression and his tone was very precious. No, I want to know why your sect master helped me. Also, if you killed them, will the police?" Yao Er thought about it. The man in front of her killed them all for her. What if the police caught him? Thinking of this, Yao Er didn't think about it anymore. Miss Yao Er, don't worry. It's okay, the two of them aren't important now. The most important thing now is that you quickly fill your stomach. Then, find a place to rest for the night. You haven't stopped for the whole day today. As he spoke, the man from the dark group took out a stack of red banknotes and handed it to Yao Er. I can't accept this. You have already bought me so much food. If you give me so much money, then I will feel very embarrassed. Chapter 207. In the end, Yao Er didn't take the money. However, the dark department still booked a hotel for her. Although she said that she didn't want the money, under the persuasion of the dark department, Yao Er stayed in the hotel. At this moment, Yao Er's mood was much better than before. Because the dark department saved her, she saw hope again. Yao Er stayed in the hotel and gave her father a call. She told him that she would be staying at a classmate's house for the next few days. In the end, her father agreed and Yao Er let out a sigh of relief. After seeing that Yao Er was safe, the dark tribe member who had been following Yao Er all this time went back to hiding around her. He used his divine sense to observe her every move. Of course, when he was sleeping, his divine sense was only used to observe the door and windows. East of Yanjing, under an abandoned factory. At this moment, a group of people were gathered. Every one of them had an aura that could be described as either rich or noble. Every one of them had a cold face and were insufferably arrogant. Kacha. In another part of the underground room, a door that had been tightly shut all this time opened at this moment. The kacha-kacha sounds were like a heart, thumping loudly. Finally, it opened completely. Behind the door, 4 people walked out unhurriedly. At this moment, they had a serious expression on their faces. At this moment, all of them released their cultivation. Every one of them had a cultivation that was above Anidia. The highest cultivation was at the golden core middle stage. Among the 4 of them, there was Xianjing who went to Lin Rei's house and returned empty-handed. Instead, he lost more than 10 members of the dragon group. At this moment, the guilt on his face had yet to fade. Of course, not only was there guilt in his eyes, but there was also fear. At this moment, when he thought about what happened in Lin Rei's house, his whole body trembled uncontrollably, accompanied by cold sweat. Greetings to the 4 leaders of the dragon group, Tian, Di, Xian and Huang. Today, we were urgently summoned here. Do you have any instructions? We are still trying to find that terrifying power. At this moment, after seeing the 4 of them, everyone bowed and greeted them. Everyone, please take a seat. The reason I summoned you this time is because I have something important to tell you. This matter concerns the safety of your lives. At this moment, the leader of the 4 said to the crowd with a dignified and domineering expression. What? Is it related to our lives? At that moment, after hearing the old man's words, everyone quieted down. Following the old man's instructions, they sat down and listened attentively. What was about to happen next would be something that concerned their lives. At this moment, no one spoke. Although they didn't know what could threaten their lives, they had no choice but to remain silent for the sake of their own lives. They didn't want to die. Alright, since everyone is here, I, Long Tian, will not waste any more time. I've gathered all of you here today to inform you that, we've found that terrifying force. Wow! After Long Tian finished speaking, everyone present began to discuss. You found it? When did that happen? Yeah. When did you find it? What kind of people are they? At this moment, the clamor below caused Long Tian and the others to frown and reveal an irritated expression. All of you, shut up. With the cultivation of the intermediate golden core stage, Long Tian's words immediately suppressed the clamor of the crowd. Instantly, the entire place became abnormally quiet. Even if a needle were to fall, it would be possible to hear it. What are you all saying? You're all national-level cadres. How can you be so uncultured at this time? Let your elders know. Let's see if they don't throw you into purgatory to cultivate. At this moment, Long Tian was like an elder lecturing his juniors. He was incomparably dignified. Even the leader of the mysterious group, Xianjing, didn't dare to breathe loudly. In a while, no matter what I say, you all have to hold it in. If anyone dares to speak again, I'll ask your elders to throw you all into purgatory. I think everyone knows what kind of place purgatory is without me introducing you. Long Tian, who was sitting on his seat, saw that the crowd had quietened down and continued, "We've found the person." However, the strength of the other party far exceeded our expectations. The other party, without even appearing, was able to kill more than 10 members of the mysterious group. Moreover, not even their bones were left behind. This matter is in charge of group leader Xianjing. Let him introduce everyone to the situation of that expert. I'm not too sure about the specifics. At this moment, Long Tian, who was speaking, gave the opportunity to speak to Xianjing, who had been silent the entire time. Immediately, everyone's gazes focused on Xianjing, causing Xianjing to feel an inexplicable sense of nervousness. Since group leader Long Tian wants me to speak, then I'll speak. Hearing Long Tian's words, Xianjing immediately stood up and said to the crowd below, "This matter is classified as an SSS rank secret. No one is allowed to speak of it. If I find out that anyone speaks of it outside, no matter what family it is, they will suffer the annihilation of the dragon group." As Xianjing stood up, his nervousness disappeared. Instead, it was replaced with a threatening gaze. He faced the crowd and told them the importance of this matter. "I hope that after I speak of it, no one will look for it. If you see it in the future, I still hope that everyone can take a detour. That villa has already been listed as a forbidden area." At this moment, when he thought of Lin Rei's villa, Xuanjing's body couldn't help but tremble. His eyes were filled with fear and cold sweat dripped down from his head. The people sitting below were even more annoyed. After seeing this scene, they were all dumbfounded. Group leader Xianjing, looking at your current appearance, it seems like you're afraid when you think of that place. Is it really as terrifying as you say? At this moment, an arrogant man sitting in the first row couldn't help but ask after seeing Xuanjing's appearance. The man's words were exactly what the people behind him wanted to ask. However, they didn't dare to. They didn't want to be thrown into the purgatory that Long Tian spoke of. In the purgatory, there was only endless darkness. It could be said that it was an era of darkness. In there was no sympathy, no friendship, and no love. In there was only endless killing. Only by killing could one protect themselves. The purgatory was an alternate dimension that had appeared a very long time ago. Simply put, it was an enormous spell formation. Inside it, there were all sorts of devils, demons, ghosts, and even the rare Asuras. Their cultivation bases were all randomly selected. However, at the same time, danger and opportunity coexisted. When the cultivators entered the purgatory and killed the creatures in the purgatory, they would fall out of the purgatory. Simply put, it was similar to Lin Rei's system. However, no one knew how this purgatory came to be or when it appeared. At this moment, Xianjing, who was sitting at the top, heard the words of the people below. In an instant, the fear in his eyes turned into fear. When he heard the words of the people from the dragon group, Xuanjing's mind recalled the time when he was at the entrance of Lin Rei's villa. He watched as his brother disappeared in front of him and was unable to stop the scene. At this moment, all of this appeared in his mind. Strong, that's not just strong. Although I don't know how strong she is, her strength is comparable to the sect leader of the Kunlun sect. That was just a bit of pressure. As for her specific cultivation level, I don't know. At this moment, Xuanjing's face revealed a miserable smile as he recounted the scene of that day. Not only that, do you know what I saw? I saw a girl around 20 years old. This sentence once again set off a frenzy of public opinion. At this moment, without hearing Xuanjing's words, they didn't know what to say. They only knew that the cultivation level of the sect leader of the Kunlun sect was one of the best in this space. When they heard Xuanjing's words, they still had some doubts in their hearts. However, to the words of the leader of the dragon group's Xian group, it was the truth. I don't want to express anything by saying all this. I only want to say that the senior has already spoken. She is no threat to the country and has her own things to do. He will not interfere with any of the country's matters. However, he also said that this matter will end here. In the future, he doesn't want to see anyone from the Dragon Group around his villa. He said that he has the strength to destroy all the sects in China in a matter of minutes. Of course, the Kunlun sect is among them. At this moment, Xianjing felt as if a heavy burden had been lifted from his shoulders. His entire body relaxed and the frightened expression on his face disappeared. However, at this moment, his clothes were completely drenched. Alright, everyone, since you've heard Leader Xuanjing's words, then in the future, be careful. Don't ever thank me for angering that person. No matter if you meet him or not, if you see him, leave or take a detour. With such a strong enemy, it's best to avoid as much contact as possible. Having one more friend is always better than having one more enemy. As for that person's location, I will send it to your phones in a moment. Remember, I don't want to collect your corpses, nor do I want you to send yourselves to death. As he spoke, Long Tian's face returned to its usual seriousness. However, he was much more cautious than before. In the next few days, the #1 official will be here to give a speech. In the next few days, I don't want to hear any bad things about you. Remember, in the next few days, be quiet. You're tuning into the Xiaofan's Wuxia Tales YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.